All right, so I think we're getting there. Let me just get set up here. Good evening. Thank you, everyone. I see you. I see your kind offerings. It is Sunday over here in the USA. Sunday, right now it is 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the 11th October 2020. In case you hadn't noticed, there's some really stressful aspects out there. I'm not going to scare everybody, but you know how I like to do my doodles. So let me just check in with you. Hello, Pretty Maika. I see yours there too. Thank you. Hello, Mary Habibti. Okay. Hello, Mary. Hi, Nikki. I see you. Hold on, I got to start writing down some of these super chats before I lose track. Hold on. First up, we have Tina Miller. Thank you so much, Tina. We'll see what comes up for you. Got it. Let's make sure that the stream is still going here. YouTube is struggling right now, I have to tell you. I don't know why. YouTube is buffering. YouTube is buffering a little bit, so I don't know why. It might be that there's a lot of people at home across America right now watching their Netflix and sports and whatever they do, news and internet streaming, YouTubers. Thank you, Tina. Let me see. I got one. Hey, Gregory, I've got one for you. Thank you very much. And let's have a look. Probably go blind. Let's have a look. Who knows? And then I saw another one over here. Yes, you can. There we are. Pretty Maika. Hello. Now I know, because you've been here a few times before now. Yeah, I think we were struggling with some relationship issues, if I recall. And then let's have a look. I think, yes. Advice for the important work week ahead from Chris. Okay. Okay, we can do that. Hello, Mary Habibte. Did I say that correctly? I wonder if I said that correctly. Hey, Mary, just tell us about yourselves. Work, I'm going to put the question over here. Week ahead. Messages from Chris. I'll put that all in one thing, okay? Like over here. So, as you know, but let me go while everybody's arriving and settling in and popping in their super chats. I'm going to Mary Habibte, if you have a question, yes. What you do is, if you want a reading, you put a donation in the super chat. There's a box just close to where you're typing right now. There's a little box. If you want to get a little mini reading, ask some questions, you open the box and it opens up a payment processor through the channel, and you can swipe your debit card or something, you know. And let me just let's have a look. I'm going to put that over here. Actually, let me write this on here. I'll get in with you guys soon. Your name goes here. Basically, Mary, you get a little, you buy yourself a magic post-it note. You buy a piece of, basically what you're doing is you buy a little piece of paper, magic paper, for $10, and you get a free reading. It's amazing. It's a fantastic deal. Just one post-it note, only $10. And then you get a free reading. I know, it's a fantastic. All right, so here we go. I just want to make some notes for today. Hello, Love Driver, I see you. Okay, so here we are. I'm just going to fill in the blanks. Some of you have seen this many times before. This is one of the world famous Terra Illumination Astrodoodles. And it is for Earth. This is for Earth on 11th October 2020. Since we're all here, put this in the over here. I should make some of these blanks all ready to go, shouldn't I? Yeah. Aries, Taurus. Now, you know, I'm going to do like a universal thing for the whole of planet Earth. And if you want individual readings, then you have to have private consulting, but that's another story. Okay, here we go. Let's keep filling in the blanks. Virgo is over here representing the 6th house. Libra over there, the 7th house. Scorpio is over here. I got Sagittarius over here. And Capricorn over here. We have Aquarius over here in the 11th house. And Pisces in the 12th. I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but let me just check in with you first. A couple of things. Let's have a look over here. Let me just put in the planets for. Let me just put in some planets first, and then I'll get to see you all. Okay, right now. Okay, we have Mars. Okay, opposite the Sun in Libra, and we have Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. And we have the usual suspects over here, Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter, all in Capricorn. And we have the Moon in Leo. This is where things are a little bit tricky. North Node's over here in Gemini. I'll just mark that, just for the heck of it, but I'm not going to deal with it very much. And Uranus is over here. And Neptune is over here. So here's the tricky part. You've probably figured it out already. If you've seen my astrodoodles, you already know. What I'm going to do is focus on the big red scary stuff. Okay, so Mars is directly opposite the Sun in Libra. So there might be a lot of frothy, fermenting, highly carbonated fizzy activity going on between yourself and others, or another and you. Maybe it's a little bit awkward, maybe a little bit uncomfortable, maybe stressful, maybe very active, maybe very passionate. I'm not sure how that'll play out for people, but this is a highly stressful alignment. I know personally I've been dealing with a lot of stress factors, but I'm dealing with it. We learn from these things. These are one of the most stressful alignments there is. It's called a T-square. I'll show you in a second. And we have two T-squares. We've had it pretty much the whole day because Mercury is opposing Uranus over here, squaring off with the Moon over here. Now, of course, as you know, these things fluctuate, but we have two T-squares, one here and one here. So this one, the T looks like this, if that makes any sense. And over here, this one looks like this, and I hope that makes sense to you. Basically, put it together, that's a lot of T-squares for one day. And all of us have to deal with it somehow, so that's what we're doing. I'm dealing with it as best as I know how, and I know you guys are too. So I don't blame you if you're feeling stressed. Hello? Okay. Well, let me just go and check with you. I'm going to just flip over here, so I want to check in with you guys. Yes. Good evening and welcome. It is Terra Illumination. This is Sunday Night Live. At least in it's America, it's Sunday night and it is live. It is live, but it's Sunday night in America. And it's another day in other countries. In Australia and New Zealand and I think Japan, it's already Monday. In Europe, they're already fast asleep Sunday night and they're already going to bed. They're going to wake up to Monday soon enough. But for us, I'm broadcasting from Las Vegas, sunny Las Vegas, and it's cooling down a little bit. It's going to be evening here soon, and everything's good. When I showed you those charts, you saw those two T-squares, okay? It looks like this, okay? They're just basically really stressful. When you have a T-square, automatically relationships come into question because you've got a polarity between two planets being stressed out by a hard square to both those planets, okay? So that's what we have. We've got it twice. We've got the Aries-Libra axis hard squared by the Capricorn energy. We've been dealing with that on and off for a while. But today, because we have the moon in Leo, it's just floating by, you know, it takes about 2.5 days. But for most of today, we've been dealing with another big T-square, one of these, where we had the Taurus and Scorpio axis being pressured by the Leo moon. So, luckily, well, for myself, I try to keep ahead of these things with the weather forecast, and I try not to take it personally because the reality is I've been dealing with a lot of very stressful dynamics with relationship issues. Not in terms of the lovey-dovey stuff, but a lot of activity just dealing with things in my personal life that are all hinging around, let's just say, very, very stressful relationship dynamics, okay? There you go. I'm dealing with it, I'm learning, and I'm growing. I'm growing through challenge, so I'm hoping that you get some of that too for yourselves. Also, say one of the things is not to take the bait. Like with that Mars in Aries, things can get very, let's say, volatile. Don't take the bait, okay? Otherwise, it could get very incendiary very quickly. Okay. Also, with Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, you know, be very careful with the words you put out, the way you put out. Double check everything. Give yourself the 5-second rule or the 10-second rule. Think before you speak. Like if someone is talking or communicating with you, think about it a little bit before you respond. Don't necessarily rush into rapid fire exchanges of communications because it's so easy to come across misinterpretations. All right, so I said what I had to say. Good evening and welcome. Did I say that correctly? Mary Habibte? Mary Habibte. Did I say that correctly? Where are you, Mary? I'm very curious. I'm going to get the map. Stay there. Okay, so we've got other nice things going on. I just wanted to point out this evening that we have this stressful alignment. For all I know, you're having a fantastic time, but just be very, very careful with communications in relationships, okay? That's all. That's all I'm saying. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's see now. I've got Tina is over here. Gregory is over here. Nikki is over here. Pretty Maika, I can't remember. Pretty Maika, where are you? I forgot. I know you've told me before. Mary Habibte, where are you? Are you over here? Love Triber's here. Love Triber is right here. This is where I'm broadcasting from, right here. And there's Love Triber. Hello, Love Triber. Let's have a look. Mary Habibte, New York. Okay. So you're a New Yorker. New York. Yep. My brother lives in New York. I should go visit him. Alright, here we go. Let's have a look, see what's going on. So, this is what I was just talking about. Okay, just in case people are just arriving, just let you know, welcome, good evening. It is Sunday Night Live, home of the world-famous SuperChat mini readings with Tarot Illumination. So there we go. I'm just going to give everybody a very slight, very gentle kind of heads up about something I learned. You're Long Island. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, my brother used to have a house over in Long Island, but they sold that. No longer. Okay. Here's an example of stressful relationship things. I've been communicating with people all over the place. Zooms, phone meetings, WhatsApp meetings, technical meetings, financial meetings, bank, all sorts of things, just trying to sort out my life so that I don't implode. There's so many like little fragments that are just like, it could easily make you go berserk. But I'm dealing with it. And one of the things I dealt with was very, very comforting to me because it made me feel I'm not insane. So some of you know for about almost 2 years now, I've been complaining and moaning about my channel and how screwed up the channel is. And it's made me very sad and heartbroken because I had to give up doing a lot of videos because I couldn't do them anymore because I wasn't getting paid. And then I got very, very sick because I got so depressed. I kept going anyway. And then I realized I'm screwed. The channel is screwed. And so I haven't figured out what to do. So the only thing I'm doing right now, as you know, is my Wednesday wellness sessions. I just go off talking about my opinions about the world and, life and everything and global politics and global restructuring and finance and all those things. And on Sunday we do the show. And both these shows are live, and I haven't really put up any recorded videos for a long time. And so this fellow got in touch with me from India, and we met. I'm just going to tell you the story. I'll just keep it really short. I was cruising around doing homework about astrology, studying astrology, and I clicked on a link that looked sort of interesting to me. And I realized there was a bit of clickbait, but I was curious. I was suckered into it. And I clicked the button, and it started a little video, and then all of a sudden, bam! My computer went, dan, 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 dan. You have been hacked. You have been hacked. Warning, warning, warning. Danger, danger, danger. Respond to this emergency number now. Microsoft will help you. Danger, danger, danger. And I was terrified. I thought, oh my God, my computer is going to be completely destroyed. They're going to take all my data. They're going to go into my bank and everything. And I was terrified. And I tried to shut it down. I couldn't stop it. It was terrifying. I have really pretty good security here, but still, they got a way through. So anyway, I decided, okay, it looks important, so I'm just going to call this hotline number. So I called the hotline number, and you've probably figured out what I'm going to say. Basically, the hotline number says, oh, hello. Yes, this is the support team. What's going on? And I told them, well, I just got hacked. My computer just got hacked, and it said to call this emergency number. What do I do? What do I do? And they said, oh, yeah, you got hacked. Well, I'm sorry. You're probably going to have to buy a very expensive antiviral software. And I went, oh, okay, I get it. They create a virus bomb, and then they sell you the cure. It's just the same as the beer flu, the China virus, and all of that stuff. Okay? So anyway, I call the number, and so the recording says, okay, we're going to connect you with one of our specialists. So they connect me with one of their specialists. And so we're talking, and he shows me how to connect my computer up so he can go inside the computer and look at everything and then fix it live. There are softwares that can do that. I was terrified, but I felt I had no choice. So I did it. And basically we fixed everything. And then he said, I told him, he asked me, show me some of the things that you were just doing on your computer for why you got hacked. And so I showed him. And then he showed me exactly where and how the hack came through. It's because there's one of these softwares that I use that has no protection on it. Have you heard of HTTP? Well, there's another one called HTTPS. And the one that is S is secured. HTTP is not secured. So anyway, I got leaked and bombed through this thing. Anyway, he fixed it. But then he showed me how to basically refix and reboot the whole computer. And then, because I was telling him about my channel, and he was fascinated. He said, "Oh my God, I'm fascinated. Let's connect after I've fixed your computer." And I said, "Okay." So I gave him an email, and I was terrified that this is some kind of really advanced criminal operation. And so anyway, Gregory Rock is saying, Ross is saying, "Go Mac, TL." Actually, necessary truth, here's the point of the story. I gave this guy my email address. And lo and behold, he wrote back. And he said, "Do not buy that stuff that I was trying to sell you. I am working in high-tech sales here for this antivirus company. But I'm telling you, don't buy it. It's a complete waste of time. Your system is perfectly good. We just have very advanced ways of hacking people, and it's all part of it's all legal. It's part of our marketing campaign to sell our stuff. But don't buy it." And I went, "Oh, thank God," because that's what I thought. I thought there was something screwy. And he said, "But I'm very excited because of your YouTube channel. I want to talk with you about that." And I went, "Okay." And anyway, I didn't hear anything for quite a while. And then he wrote back the other day and said, "Hi, I'm sorry I haven't been in touch with you, but I wanted to catch up and tell you I think I really like your channel. And I'm over in India, and I'm a high-tech Microsoft computer advanced technician. I'm a social media like masters, blah blah blah, and marketing and everything. And I want to help you, because it looks like your channel is struggling." And I said, yes, help, please. And then he did the same thing. "Okay, well, you're going to have to let me inside your computer." So he did that. And we did this all on my professional Zoom system, which I use for my personal consultations. Yeah. So it went beautifully. It went really, really well. I could see him. He could see me. He was like 10,000 miles away over in India. I was right here, and it was crystal clear, perfect audio and everything. And he went in, and I showed him the computer and the channel. And then I opened the channel up so you can see inside all the metrics and all the controls and all the management stuff for running my channel. And then I showed him the stuff, and I moved around different charts, and he looked at it and he said, "I'm sorry, your channel is totally ruined. There's nothing you can do." He said he recognized it very, very clearly. He could see it on all the charts and the patterns with the likes and the notifications and the numbers of views and the subscriber diminishing. He said, "You've got the classic profile of a channel that has been heavily flagged for whatever reason. I've told you about that years ago. The channel was flagged and attacked. The channel was attacked many times, and then eventually it was flagged because I was accused of running a cult." Okay, duh. Anyway, that flag is permanent, and the powers that be decided, rather than talk with me and try to figure out if there's anything actually evil going on here, they just took the word of the two women who tried to destroy my channel, and they destroyed the channel. They put it on a complete penalization algorithm. That's what it's called, a penalization. So basically the channel has almost zero notifications. It strips out subscribers every week, every month, and it limits the number of views and listings and recommendations. He said, so my Indian friend said, "There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. You have to start a new channel if you want to keep going and grow this thing." So anyway, that's the story. So I'm telling you now tonight, everybody, I'm going to start a new channel. It's going to look almost identical, but it will be a new channel, and we're going to somehow have to learn how to migrate from this channel to that channel. And I'm going to go around asking everybody, please, please, please subscribe to the new channel, because the old channel is going to fade away. And then we have to do lots and lots of little videos. It's going to take probably a year to get things up and running properly. But he said there's nothing you can do. The platform has penalized you. You're locked out. You can't do anything. You're not dead, but you're in a coma. There's nothing you can do. So you have to start all over. So I was not insane. I'm not insane. There are things that go on behind the scenes here for channels that are basically flagged. So I just wanted to tell you, everybody, that was a long story just to tell you that I'm going to start a new channel. Okay? There you go. No, it's not a joke. Make the new channel less about the truth. Did you hear that stuff recently? Facebook has made a decision, because they can, it's their company, they have decided to block anything and everything to do with QAnon. And yet, they're letting through these really sick, perverted children's wardrobe companies that's marketing this very disturbing, sinister wardrobe for little children. It's really sick stuff. I'm not the boss of this thing. Anyway, let's have a look. Okay, I'm just checking in. So, I can tell from looking at the computer here that, you know, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I'm very lucky to be alive and have the channel. Thank you. Thank you, gods and powers that be in your big offices in Los Angeles and San Francisco. Thank you very much. I'm not dead yet. Okay. Yeah, I think I told everybody, October is a freak month, okay? It's a really freakish month. When you look at the charts, you go whizzing through October. It's just almost every day there's something kind of going on. And I want to particularly keep you aware when we get close to the new moon. Okay, that's at the end of next week, roughly, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week. Things are going to get kind of weird. Okay, I'm just letting you know in advance. We're heading into that now, and you can probably feel it in your body, like all the different weird stuff that's happening out there. Global politics, global finance, fake news up to your eyeballs, just ludicrous things going on. Blah. Oh God, who was that? Blah. Hello, Blah. In Hemel Hempstead. Hemel Hempstead. Oh, that's, isn't that like a London suburb? Hello, Blah, I see you. Yeah, it's, anyway. So, Blah, this is Sunday Night Live, Terra Lumination SuperChat mini readings. So if you want a SuperChat mini reading, do you see where you just typed in? Blah? Do you see where you just typed in? Underneath that, there's a box. It's a rectangle box, and it has a little $sign sitting in the middle. You click that, and it pops up a window on your computer, and you can enter your debit card and swipe it, and it comes through here as a super chat. It's a miracle. Of course, YouTube takes a huge percentage of my super chat money. Thank you, everybody. But it's better than nothing. Got to keep the wheels turning here as we migrate from this channel to the new channel. We'll see how it all works. Hertfordshire. So that's southeast. Any amount. Well, typically it's $5, $10, $15, something like that. In euros or pounds, it would probably be about £7, £12, or something like that. Yeah. The more, the better. Thank you, Gregory. There's no limit. If you're a multimillionaire, you can put in as much as you like. Terra Lumination is very receptive. Yeah. What's that, Tina? After my son-in-law had the heart attack, he's now dumped your daughter. Oh, no! That means the little kids as well. Oh, ow, 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 ow. Oh, I'm sorry, that's just awful. There's 4, isn't there? 4 little kids? Whoa. Ah. Oh. Ah. Your daughter and the 4 little kids are moving in with you. They work in groups. I understand. What's this? So daughter and kids moving in with you, Tina. Okay, wow. It's literally a freaking miracle, Tina, that you moved there with all this stuff going on. Otherwise, your daughter and the kids would be in deep doo-doo. Wow. Oh, okay. Well, we'll do a little micro reading. Okay, blah, we'll do a little micro reading. You can start with $1.99 if you want to put in more. That helps. It all helps. Okay. All right, I'm going to go over to the stage here. I have a feeling it's going to be a quiet evening. There's only like 8 or 10 people, and I don't think any notifications are going out. I think the channel is just... I don't think... Nobody knows it's here anymore. The notifications don't go out. I don't make enough videos. So it's kind of like, it's like a sad wilting flower. Oh. Anyway. Wow. Be you. Thank you. Be you. That's very optimistic. I like your attitude. I like your attitude. Let me go to the stage here. Be you. You just arrived, as far as I can tell. Blah, you just arrived. So, I don't know if it'll take less than... I don't know if the super chat will take $1.99. I think they have a threshold below which you cannot go. But anyway, give it a shot. The more, the better. Tina, you think it's a midlife crisis with a heart attack thrown in. Yeah, that's totally understandable. So anyway, be you and blah. I was talking about this stuff earlier. These are 2 super stressful alignments. Actually, let me put in just at least a tiny bit of green, fun, sweet stuff so that you don't think it's the end of the world. Hold on, let me just go over here a second. I'm going to fill in a couple of blanks. So the reality is we've got, like there's a nice, really sweet thing going on with, sorry, I should have put that in earlier. Venus is over here in Virgo. That's what's missing. This is the moon, okay, and this is Venus. So this is the one that's really tricky. Tricky dynamics in relationships. Very combustible. Tricky dynamics in relationships over here. Equally combustible. A lot of pressure for reality checks. Some people can't hack reality. They can't handle it, so they crack. This is basically whatever's happening is whatever's happening. Now there is a sweet spot because there's a lot of harmony between the Capricorn and the Pisces energy over here. Okay? And there's a lot of harmony between the Scorpio and the Virgo energy over here. So that smooths things out a little bit. And there's also, I don't want to mess with the North Node, but the North Node is fairly nicely supported by Mars and the Sun. But the thing is that, like most human beings, we take the good stuff for granted, and most of our energies, a lot of our sensory systems, our defense mechanisms are designed to be alert and be aware of the things that threaten our safety and our life and our livelihood. And so I just want, for the folks who just arrived, this is what's happening tonight right now. This is like a loose T-square. This is a loose T-square, but they're pretty strong, okay? So if anyone's experiencing really radical, predictable upheavals in relationships, miscommunications, okay, over here and over here. Just please just accept it that that is what is supposed to be happening right now, and the key question is, how are you going to deal with it, okay? Okay, let me just check some more notes came in. Oh, thank you. Okay, so Tina is saying it is... Oh, I don't want to say the children part of the Q group. Well, yeah, that QAnon thing, that's pretty scary stuff. I don't know how much I want to believe in it. Hello, Necessary Truths, I see you. I have to look up at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. on Sunday night. I have to keep checking, hit or miss each week. Otherwise, you'd miss it. Oh, so I really, seriously, I just thank you for showing up at all. Because, it's just luck anymore if people get here to the channel, to the show. So I'm really glad that you showed up. Hello, Blanca S. What? What? That's pretty serious. Okay, hold on. I got to put a little micro reading thing over here for... Oh, where did she go? Hold on, I missed one. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting confused. I'm trying to scroll through the chat and sort out all the mini readings. Here we go. For Blanca S. Got it, I see it now. Okay, here we go. Let me put this on the screen. Here's your magic post-it note. Blanca has paid $5 for a piece of paper. $5 paid for a magic post-it note, and with every magic post-it note that you buy, you get a free reading. Isn't that amazing? Okay. Blanca S. And you're wondering if I'll receive a double lug translate. Is that for real? Is it because of cancer, like lung cancer? Is it from smoking or what? Please explain. That's what... It's your first time doing this? Oh, don't worry. Just hang out for a little bit, Blanca, and you'll see what happens here, okay? And you've got the autistic son going into a group home. Son going into group home. I'm just making a brief note here. That's an awful lot of pressure. Hi, Blanca. I'll put you over here. So first up tonight, we've got Tina, then Gregory, Pretty Maika, then Nikki, then Blanca. And what was it? Hello, Starzy, I see you. And Blah wants one too. I have to wait till I see it on the screen, okay, Blah? So just take your time. Most people put in 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks or something like that. So I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to start clearing the decks because we have to actually start doing the readings. Okay? Jeepers, Blanca. Jeepers. We'll do what we can. Another thing is that, of course, just to add a little bit to the stress, Mercury is just going to start going stationary retrograde at the moment. So just be very careful. You might start noticing all the classic characteristics like, computer glitches, mistakes on your emails and letters and social media, screens freezing, phones freezing, email getting stuck, messages getting sent out that you didn't mean to send out, and it said the wrong thing to the wrong time at the wrong person at the wrong place, and then people are trying to hack you, all sorts of mayhem, okay, with Mercury. So okay, so let me put this aside. We'll come back to this as needed. But for now, let's get on with the show. It's time to get on with the show. Ho ho! Hey hey ha ha! I'm doing a very simple beverages this evening. This stuff is a highly recommended fluid. It's called water. I don't know if you've heard about this. I'm doing this multi-level marketing campaign now. It's this invisible clear liquid. It's a miraculous liquid, and it's vital for life. So if you haven't heard about this stuff, I highly recommend it. It's called water. Okay. And it is delicious. Okay? I don't have a website for marketing this thing. You might not have heard of it because if you've been living off bottles of this, cans of that, fountains of this, and all sorts of plastic bottles full of bizarre things. I'm telling you, this is the new miracle wonder drug. It's called water. You're going to start to hear about it all over the news soon. All right. So, Blanca, I'm a little bit disturbed. So, you were never a smoker, but you developed pulmonary fibrosis. Ouch. Ugh. It just sounds miserable. I'm just trying to imagine how miserable that must be. So it's kind of lucky that you're even here at all. I'm assuming with the fibrosis, it implies that the little alveoli and all the tubes become like fibrous, and so it makes it harder and harder and harder for the lungs to exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide. So you probably become very weak and depressed and tired, okay? So if there's no cure, I'm just ranting at the moment, but it sounds to me like they would open you up like they do for heart transplants, and they go inside. I've had a couple of people who've had their major surgery where they open up the rib cage and they do all the work inside, and they're still alive today to tell the tale. A couple of them, one never made it, but he's still there in spirit. Love you, Brian. And there is hope. Okay? We live in magical times. We really, really do. So, I'm not sure if this is the time or the place, or if I'm in the right frame of mind to do any kind of useful prayer or healing thing, but, actually, stay there a second, Blanca. This is a good opportunity for Terra Illumination to get into a little bit of the healing stuff, even though I kind of don't really share it that much anymore, or because I don't feel so qualified. But let me just show you something. Stay there, okay, Blanca? Okay, stay there. All right, I'm back. I am back. And what I have here is this book. This is an old book. It's from the early 1980s, okay? And to me, it's one of the best books in the English language, in westernized culture, that deals with this thing called energy healing. Now, energy healing is a very well established thing in Eastern cultures, like in parts of India and deep, far Western China, especially if they have places where there's not a lot of doctors and there's a lot of poverty. What happens is they have very, very different cultures, and they use the human body as a healing mechanism. What they do essentially is they invoke and they invite the healing power of love to come into their bodies from up above, and then they use their body as a sort of spiritual healing device. And the energy moves through their bodies and especially out through their hands. And I don't know if you've seen this, Blanca. Have you heard of this fellow called Greg Braden? Okay? You might want to take a note. You can check him out on YouTube. He's kind of famous for being a wacky scientist, kind of out there on the fringes, but he's very, very amazing. And one of the things that he's very keen on is energy healing. Like, he can't explain it, but he knows it's real. Okay? Now, some of you here, you're already energy healers. There's a lady here called, who was it? I can't remember her name, but she's an energy healer over in Sweden. Or is it Turkey? I can't remember. But she's a powerful energy healer. She can do remote healing. And I have been the recipient of really powerful energy healing from some very specialized Western yoga healers where I used to go after I had my cancer diagnosis. And I was in a really, really bad condition. Now, cancer is not the same as pulmonary fibrosis, but it is a degradation of the body. And it's mind-boggling what energy healing can do. So there's this. Let me finish the thing about the Greg Braden. Just for fun, just for thrills, okay, Blanca, if you go to YouTube after the show or tomorrow or whenever, go to YouTube and check out this fellow called Greg Braden. And when you do the search, type it in like Greg Braden, like miracle cancer healing, okay? And the video will come up, and it shows you live in real time how these Eastern doctors, healers, use their hands, okay? And then you start searching other things about hands where, seriously, I think our hands are holy. Our hands are like instruments of the healing power of love. So you have to be aware of what you're doing with your hands. But people can train themselves. I've also been to a place and I've received and given energy healing. And there's one group over in Los Angeles. They're all over the world. They call themselves Pranic Healing. And the guy goes off and does these sort of wacky lectures. And I can show you a video about that too. But it really, really helps. It's very unconventional. You might not believe in it, but, anything's better than nothing right now when you're dealing with something like pulmonary fibrosis. So, here we go. Blanca, have a look at this. I've shown this on the channel quite a few times. It's really good visuals. Okay? Here's Barbara Brennan. I don't know if she's still alive, but she's a total sweetheart, and she's an energy healer, and she realized she had a gift, so she started training people. And the thing is, it's very, very unconventional in the West, but let me find some pictures, and then you can kind of understand what I'm talking about a little bit better. Here we go. So this is the sort of thing that happens in Western culture when you get an energy healing. Okay, this would be the patient over here. This would be the healer, and the healer invokes spirits. Spirit healing, your invisible friends, your spirit guides, your angelic healers. And the energy field comes from above, and it invites everybody from around. And then you can see here that the energy healer uses her hands to direct the energy to the points where the energy is needed, okay? You don't even need to touch the body. It's all done using the hand as though it's like one of those Da Vinci laser surgery machines, okay? Thank you. Thank you, BU. If you've been laying hands is not a joke. Laying hands is the real deal. There's all sorts of good stuff in here, but I just wanted to show this picture to Blanca. Okay? So this is kind of what it looks like in close-up. I am used to this stuff already because this is kind of my world, but I don't really talk about it much on the channel, or I don't have a lot of clients or anything, but I have done this with people, and people have shared this with me, and it's helped me tremendously in some of my extremely nasty diseases and illnesses that I seem to have had to deal with in my life. So something you might want to check out. Yeah. Something to check out, Blanca, especially if you're not used to that stuff. But it is, to me, almost like a Bible, okay? So anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you because it sort of resonates with the channel here. I hope you don't mind. So anyway, we have to do a few readings, so let's get on with the show. What was that? BU says, I've been laying of hands since age of 3, and my Native American grandma saw that I touch, as they used to say, and also been a Reiki master for over 20 years. See, there you go. So BU, I know that Reiki can be done by remote. So BU, if you want to check in with Blanca, okay, you guys can write to Tarot Illumination. Go to the tarotillumination.com website, okay? There's a place where you can connect and just write to me directly, personally, okay? Both of you, that is BU and Blanca S, and then I'll hook you guys up by email, and then maybe you can like discuss a little bit of a program for some remote healing. There you go. Doesn't hurt. I guarantee it doesn't hurt. It just makes you better. All right, let's see. First up, we've got Tina. All right, here we go. Okay, cards are already well shuffled. Yes, Blanca, it really, really is quite something. It's fascinating stuff. There's some amazing, miraculous things that do happen on planet Earth that kind of defy explanation. One of them is remote viewing. One of them is remote healing. It's because it's there and it's real. That's actually part of what my book is about, but I still haven't finished it. I've been promising, but I've still never. I am so far away from finishing. Okay. I'm a little bit scared to offer personal one-on-one direct healing because it's kind of specialized, and I have to be in a very, I would say, like almost, you know what when you become a certified Reiki practitioner and so on, it's a very selfless kind of task. Like in the very purest sense, there is no business, there is no money. You just show up and heal people who need to be healed. The people find you, and you just do the healing. It's not even something that is hardly recognized anywhere as a worthy profession, because it doesn't seem to have any logic compared to Western medicine. But anyway, I'm just letting you know, Blanca S., that energy healing is out there. It's a genuine phenomenon. And there are people who are practitioners. Some are better than others. Some are complete fakes and phonies. Some are highly gifted. Some are very gifted and you'll never see them, never meet them. But whatever it is. Thank you, BU. All right, Tina, let's see what's going on. Actually, I'm going to flip back through the chat here, see what the notes are. Tina, you have been through a lot lately. Let's just see. Just what you need to know. Okay, that's what we'll do. I'm going to make it just a need-to-know basis. What you need to know on a need-to-know basis. Okay. So let's put Tina up front and center here. This is where we're going to start tonight. After Tina, it's going to be Gregory. After Gregory, we've got Pretty Maika. And after Pretty Maika, we got Nikki, and then we've got Blanca. There we go. Okay. Oops, sorry, my hands are getting stuck there. I'll put that one here in case we get a couple of late arrivals. All right, Tina. I keep telling her, Tina has been visiting this channel almost since the beginning of the channel. And so we kind of have a long history together, and I think the audience needs to be aware that Tina is one of these people who is a natural healer, who chose the healing arts as a career in life, and now she's moved on to a new chapter in life. but it's just a different version of healing. Another thing about Tina is that she made it her business to know thyself. Know thyself, because when you get into the business of know thyself, that's actually the technique and the pathway to love thyself. So Tina has become, I would say, very self-aware, very selfless in these ways, and she's now sharing her healing gifts in very highly unique and specialized ways, rather than being in a big professional practice with lots and lots of strangers, okay? All right, here we go. All right, let's have a look. Oh, some newbies just arrived. Hold on. Drazito Santos, Andre Santos. This is like a super chat mini reading. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could probably take 1 or 2 more readings tonight, but that'll be about it. There's a super chat box button. Most people put in about $10. And then you basically, your name goes here. And you get in the list and you get your reading. That's really all it is. And by the way, for all the newbies who are here tonight, you'll probably discover very quickly that there are other visitors to the show who are readers and psychics and mediums and healers in their own right. That just seems to be what happens with the show. All right, so Tina, you're in. I don't know what to say. You went and you started this new life. You're over here. Okay, you're over here now, and I think it was only a matter of weeks ago, maybe a couple months at most, where your son-in-law had that major heart attack, and then he recovered, and everything went back together again, and now you've just shared news with us that he has dumped your daughter and the 4 little kids. So now your daughter and the 4 little kids are moving in with you at your new home. So your daughter's very lucky to have you there, and the little kids are very, very fortunate. Gregory said he moved 1,000 miles. And Jenna, the same thing. I just saw your name there, Jenna. So yeah, if you're new, you want to take a reading, if you've got a specific issue, fine. Typically, when we do tarot readings here, I use a very, very simple spread. It's called my situational spread. It's like a diagnostic tool when you go into an auto tech and repair place, and they just plug in the black box and they try to figure out what's going on, okay? Gregory's back at the scene of the crime after mother passed away. So yeah, guys, for Jenna M and Andre Santos, it's a super chat thing. So there's the button at the bottom there near where you type, and you press the button. The channel shows up with a little payment processor. You swipe like $10 and you get a reading. Okay, we got a turf war going on the screen here. Turf war in Mississippi. Yep. Well, let's not call it a war. Let's just call it a tug of war, like a, head butting. A little bit of head butting. All right, Tina. Just what you need to know. So we'll leave it at that. Anything can happen. As you know, Tina, anything will happen when I start rolling here. Everybody, let's bless this deck. Bless every single card. Let's bless everybody who's here. Bless all the softwares, the multiple softwares, and the technology, the cameras and the lighting and the internet and all the cables and the wires. And God bless us all, that we're even alive to do this today. It's such a strange and unique feeling that I get when I do this every single time. I'm always kind of baffled and amazed by what goes on here. All right, Tina, let's have a look. Everyone else, basically relax, enjoy the show, chat amongst yourselves. Sometimes, especially for newbies, sometimes these readings come out in such a way that they have multiple connections with other people who are watching, okay? That's just the nature of the show. So it just happens now and again. You might resonate with someone else's reading very closely. It just happens. There's a lot of synchronicity in the world if we keep our eyes open. Okay, cards are cut and shuffled. Here we go. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. Now, of course, Tina, this reading is probably going to be colored by some of the history that we've shared together, but I think that's okay. Also, when I look at the bottom card here for all the newbies, I look at this as external energy, like influences, circumstantial, influential type of energy. Typically, I relate that to the planets. And I have a habit of, where is it? Where? With something like this, for example, let's blame the planets, okay? If people are really, really struggling with relationship dynamics, it's very, very easy, very convenient to blame the planets. So that's what I do. Yay. Some of you watching might notice that there's secondary readings going on the side in the chat with some of the other psychics and mediums and guests and readers. All right, Tina, here we go. Circumstantial energy. We have the Nine of Wands. Okay, it's not the end of the world. Okay, with the Nine of Wands, the way I feel this is that it's almost like you got set up, okay? But you knew you were getting set up. You knew it's almost like a mission, like a sense of a calling, that you were being called to be where you are right now and change your life radically to be the new Tina Miller that you are right now. It's like basically you signed up for it. You had deliberately made big life changes to get into a position where you can be this new Tina Miller, where by definition, you knew you were walking into a lot of challenges. But this is a very powerful card. It's on the understanding that you can handle it. Okay? It's a lot of pressure, but you can handle this. It's almost like a bring it on type of energy, and you have made yourself available. I mean, the timing, the synchronicity is amazing that you just kind of showed up in your new world, and everything that was falling apart in the new world with your daughter and the son-in-law, they're extremely fortunate to have you. Yes, in some ways it's a very, very challenging situation. In some ways it's very tragic, but there's also a certain beauty to it. That's how I look at it. You're very strong, Tina. You wouldn't be doing this otherwise. So I don't see a problem with the Nine of Wands here at all. I see you as fully geared up, ready, willing, and able to fight the good fight, no matter what it takes. Here we go. Let's have a look at the situation. Okay? To me, it feels like it's almost like you're a miracle in the lives of these kids and your daughter right now, or perhaps beyond that. Okay, this is a really rich, powerful energy. This is the Empress card. I see this as the energy of deep abundance, richness, stability, fertility. Basically, like sprinkling fertilizer all over the land around you, where you are like this godmother, this motherly godmother kind of figure that is bringing abundance, stability, security to new lands. Okay? And it's a really, really good thing. And it is being done very graciously, very purposefully, with infinite amounts of love. And it will be interpreted differently by each person. So just imagine Imagine the history, imagine the situation with your daughter and the kids. You're there, you're being Tina Miller, and in a couple of decades from now, as we all mature, those little kids are all going to grow up. And even though they were in that, they're going to be in your house with you and your daughter, and they're going to grow up for a period in those kind of situations. Each one will have a different story. Years and years from now, there will be stories told about this stuff, Tina, where the little kids they might have a little family reunion one day as they grow up and grow older and go out in their worlds, and then they'll come together like around like a holiday, a Thanksgiving, and they will share their stories. Like, do you remember when Dad walked away and all of that kind of stuff? How was it for you? And each story will come out very differently. The same events happen, but the story will be experienced in very different ways. And what you're doing is like you're providing the stage, the platform, the fertilized ground for the stories of these new little children to unfold. Life goes on. I see this as abundance, fertility, Mother Earth, nature, sowing the seeds of love, planting seeds of love, fertilizing with whatever you need to do, including the miracle cure, water. Now, what's the challenges here? Obviously. Okay, let's just say it's a little bit delicate. Let's say it's very delicate because you're going to be going from, where you are right now to having a house full of kids. So there's going to be a lot of demands on your time and resources in every way, shape, or form. And now, Tina, you're very capable, so I'm sure you're going to handle it. I'm more than certain that you can handle it with this powerful Empress card here. On the other hand, you're taking on huge responsibilities. I'm not saying burdens, I'm saying responsibilities. And each time, because there's just so much happening all at once, my feeling is when I see the Two of Pentacles here is that I don't sense a lot of fear with it. I sense more of a challenge. Like the challenges are being able to handle so many things in a very delicate way that's balanced. Like, I mean, it could be anything, Tina. Like, oh, is the little one, tiny one, getting way more attention than the second kid? Or is do you have to balance diets? Or are you going to have to balance how much time and energy and resources are you going to allocate to the kids and to your daughter and to yourself? You have to be very, very careful because you're taking on a huge load. You've taken on a huge load. You are way more than capable of handling it. Although, on the other hand, the challenge seems to be very, very careful. Like it would be so easy for you to be depleted without knowing it because you're so strong and you're so used to caring for other people. You're so used to being like a compassion junkie that it comes naturally. But with the Two of Pentacles here, my feeling is like be very, very careful with your resources. Okay? That especially I look at it as your time, your energy, and making sure you get sleep and you get time for yourself to be Tina. Okay? All those kind of things. Like if you have to, every now and again, grab some time where you allocate time and energy and resources just for you so that you can maintain all this wonderful energy. Okay? I don't see a lot of stress here, honestly. What I just see is the challenge is going to be like executive challenges, administrative challenges, how to handle a house full of kids. They're all kids. There's your daughter and then there's your grandkids. So all of a sudden you've got 5 kids. It's a handful. You're going to be juggling a lot of things. I think you can handle it. I don't know too much about, I've helped raise about 7 children in total. I don't have any kids of my own, but I know quite a bit about what happens in households with lots of kids. And it's very easy to get drained and depleted. It's not allowed, Tina. You cannot allow that to happen. So it's almost like you have to live on a very tight clock, managing time and resources and scheduling very, very precisely. And very, very important to have fun. Okay? So how are we going to deal with this? You see? See what I said? You basically turn the whole thing into a freaking party. This is the way to handle it. It's almost like you treat the whole thing as a blessing, and it's almost like you create a jovial atmosphere such that your daughter and the kids feel loved and abundant and richer than they've ever felt before, and the whatever pain and suffering that comes along with the abdication of the father figure, however tragic or bad, or maybe it's good riddance, who knows, but whatever way, that fades into the past, where you look at the whole thing, the whole of your situation, treat every day as some way to create some kind of festivities. It could be simple little things, like sort of things that I'm thinking, like little tiny things that mean so much to children, like finding a secret treat in the morning. I know maybe it's not good for their teeth to have a certain piece of candy, or maybe like once a week everybody goes out on a mystery tour. Where are we going to go? Drive-through hot dog stand? I don't know. Where are we going to go? We're going to go feed ducks at a pond? I don't know. What are we going to do? We're going to go get ice cream. And everybody gets their own little scoop of ice cream. Those kinds of things work. It's like miracles for children. So you turn everything into a party, and and maybe there's, really important things like school and learning and responsibility, but all of those heavy responsibilities and all those burdens, they can be dealt with much more effectively in a very jovial atmosphere. So I think the message of this reading is that the key is to understand that you're more than capable, okay, Tina? And rather than seeing it as like, obviously, I don't see you as getting too stressed out, but what I see is like, because it's it's a lot of work, okay, with that Two of Pentacles, and there's a lot of juggling going on, and the way to handle it is like turn everything into some kind of fun project. Like, okay, instead of everybody on the, for breakfast one day having like, cereals and cookies and muffins, like one day we're going to have like a really good old-fashioned farmhouse breakfast. What's that? So someone has to fry the eggs, someone has to, cook up some toast, and then make everything, a food party and things like that. I'm sorry, I got ranting, I got carried away there. But anyway, the Three of Cups is basically, that's the secret formula. Turn everything into fun. Make every project fun. A shower time, bath time, meal time, learning time, school time, rest. Getting rest is extremely important, like nap time. And also perhaps like little quiet times. Everybody has to take like a 5-minute time out. Like, works wonders. Okay? Let's have a look over here. So, Tina, thank you so much. I hope that helps you. It's, to me, it looks pretty straightforward. All right, Gregory's up next. I see your notes there, Gregory. Hold on. Thank you, Nikki, for all your support here. It's really helping. It's like team efforts. It's a very Aquarian theme, by the way. Okay. Okay, Let's see. Will it be to my highest good to purchase a property or two in Panola County, where I am, or do a blind reading? Well, inside of me, I'm kind of feeling like I wouldn't mind tackling the property issues. Let's have a look, see what comes up. Now, sometimes the readings take control of themselves, you know. The reading says, this reading is going to be what it is. Okay, and you're going to hear what you need to hear. I hope that makes sense. Thank you, Tina. Take care. Blessings, of course. I'm sure you'll be okay. I'm absolutely sure you'll be okay. And I'm pretty certain your daughter and the kids will be okay. And just make it fun, that's all. That's all you have to do. Yeah, also the thing is, Tina, what I'm thinking here is like, you know, a lot of imprinting and a lot of conditioning happens in childhood, the very, very early years up to 9, 10, 11 and all of that. So it would be fantastic for those little kids to know that just because something really scary just happened in their life, it's not the end of the world. In fact, it's you can condition them and help raise these little kids to know that life can be abundant and amazing no matter what. No matter what. All right, let's have a look. Gregory, you're up. Let's have a look here. Yep, let's have a look. Oh gosh. So Gregory, it wouldn't surprise me if you're shuffling your own cards at the moment, because I know you like to do that. Let's see what happens. Cards are shuffled, cards are going to be cut, then we're going to read. Let's see what goes on here. Excuse me a second, Gregory. Oh, there's a little furry animal that's begging for attention. I have to go and find a way to get him taken care of. Stay right there. Don't go away. I'm going to give everybody a tiny music break. Just give me a second here. think we're okay, folks. Yep. Sorry about that. Sorry about the interruptions there, Mr. Ross, but those little furry friends were ganging up outside the studio, and so I had to switch the cat flaps and close another door so that they can't get in, because it's just too much. I love those little guys, but we're working, people. All right, let's have a look here. I'm going to shuffle and because I got distracted. Hello, Ivona. Good evening. Okay, so you're not shuffling. That's cool. Don't worry, Gregory. You don't have to. I'm just noting something for the audience. Hello, Ivona. We're having an interesting, fun, quirky evening here. Thank you for dropping in. How are things with you, Ivona? I've just started the reading for Gregory, so chat amongst yourselves. I gotta get focused here with Mr. Ross. Okay, let's have a look. So Mr. Ross is curious about the idea of buying properties over there in Panola County. Let's do the diagnostics and see what happens. The more and more I do these shows, the more and more quirky things get when I start feeling things from, picking up things from the visitors or from some of the spirit guides and so on. Some of it's kind of random, haphazard, funny, wacky. Anyway, here we go. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges, and here's how we're going to handle it. And let's have a look at the circumstantial energy again. Now remember, I've been kind of hinting to people that October, it's a good time for thinking and planning, and we're just entering Mercury retrograde here up until early November. So, normally Mercury moves this way, but now it's stationary and soon it's going to go back this way again. So this is a really good time to start asking a lot of questions, do a lot of planning, do a lot of research in advance of making decisions. My personal feeling would be, of course, to wait until Mercury turns direct again and then make decisions based on the things that you learn in the next month or so, okay? All right, let's have a look. So we've got this. You've got the Justice here, okay? So I feel this in a very kind of neutral way for you. To me, it feels like, don't do anything now. I'm just repeating that because that's just what the astrology is telling me. Don't do anything now, but you're in a really good place to, I would say, it's like bring harmony back to the situation. Now, I noticed some notes by Nikki on the screen about how what's the point in staying around with in areas or places where there's some scary people? We've talked about this before, Gregory. Like you're very at home, you're very comfortable in your new territory, and you're dealing with a couple of radical siblings who are kind of misbehaving. And I'm not going to say, should I stay or should I go now? But I'm just suggesting here with the Justice card, my feeling is that, let's say you do eventually decide to make decisions, okay? Sorry. To do something about property and getting stuck in your neighborhood there. Remember, this is just a reading. We're throwing the ideas around. It's just like having like a development meeting, like they have in movies and TV shows. They throw ideas around and they see what happens. What this is suggesting is that, to me, it feels like that you would bring harmony and balance and justice to the neighborhood if you decide to do something about this. What's the situation itself? Okay, the thing is, of course, it's pretty obvious here. There's a lot of pain and suffering, and it isn't just buried anymore. It's really very evidently on the surface right now. In some ways, I don't see this as a lot of pain and suffering for you, but I see you as in an environment of a lot of conflict, okay? Now remember, this is not a cups card. This is actually a swords card. So a lot of this conflict here is to do with attitudes, perceptions, beliefs, conditioning, concepts, words, language, okay? So we can very, very, unashamedly blame it on the planets. Like right now, if there is a lot of hostility, and some of it is hidden hostility, and then it suddenly bursts out into open hostilities between yourself and the radical other people, you are still in harmonious conditions here, okay? Venus is in Virgo, very sweetly trined with Mercury in Scorpio and Uranus in Taurus. So there's a lot of stability here, despite having this very conflicted energy. This T-square will pass very soon, okay? And this T-square will soon turn into a doubly enhanced. Once the moon reaches Virgo in a couple of days or so, this green sweet stuff here will be amplified. But right now, at this moment of time, what this reading is telling me is that you're right deep in the middle of conflict. And that conflict, we already know that this is painful for you, but it's not your pain. It's pain that's essentially being imposed upon you by some very, very conflicted souls, okay? And so you're on the receiving end of it. And I know it's painful for you, but in a way it's not your pain. And that's what I'm sensing over here with Judgment, is that your presence is actually very welcome, even though they probably don't know it, they probably don't understand it. So regarding the idea of buying houses and purchasing houses, I'm not saying or feeling that this is a bad thing, but it would be, at least at this moment in time for this reading, you have to understand, you're considering these thoughts, these concepts, these ideas under very egregious, super highly stressed out relationship dynamics. That doesn't mean it's going to continue, but that's what's showing up on the reading here right now. Like if we had a diagnostic device like they have in Scientology or something, and you stick these connectors onto your body and it sort of goes zzz, 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 and it has like an effed up meter. They have a meter that kind of goes like this. I've seen it because I went inside there to look. So it's like if you're over here, there's happiness, and if it goes over here, like you're really screwed up, super hyper stressed. And so that's how they sell Scientology to you. Anyway, to me it feels like you could be kind of a peacemaker, bring law and order and justice into an environment, harmony and balance, but you are walking into a world of pain. It's not your pain, but to me it feels like their pain could easily be dumped on you, and then it becomes your pain by default. Not your fault, but simply the pain of circumstantial energy. Doesn't mean it's going to linger, but let's have a look. Let's see what the challenges are. Okay, so with the Tower here, to me it looks like there's a deep, deep fear. To me, this is kind of a strange reading because I'm not feeling it as though it's you personally, Gregory. I'm feeling it as a circumstantial reading. I call this a situational spread. We're looking at the whole situation here, and you are part of the situation where you have moved yourself into a location now where you're experiencing deep conflict coming at you from these other people. And there's a potential for a lot of upheaval going on here. So when I see the Tower in this central position of challenges, what it indicates to me is that let's say you just decide, I feel pretty good. I understand the risks, but I also understand that I have a sense of meaning and purpose here, and I could be almost like a peacemaker. I can bring harmony and balance into a world of extreme pain. But the question is, looking at the situation overall, Can you really handle the extremes of what might happen? Can they handle the extremes of what might happen? Can the neighborhood and everybody handle the extremes of what might happen? Because there will be profound changes. In other words, if you make a firm decision to plant your feet in this new soil and you stay there, that could have very tumultuous implications for the other people. And that could have a sort of, secondary, like a secondary wave effect onto you as well. And also the good thing about the Tower card here, like I know it's a scary card for a lot of people, but from my perspective, it's one of the most powerful healing cards in the deck. Because in a way, if you look at it, the planets like this, it's just like a total demolition of anything and everything that is obsolete, redundant, not viable, not true, not honest. And then it just kind of goes kerblam. And so it's almost like you could be doing them a favor. Excuse me. Where I know it looks scary, but this can be almost like a healing, an act of profound healing. This is going to sound really strange, Gregory. I know it doesn't make sense. I know it doesn't make sense there, but Gregory, I have to share with you what I'm actually sensing from the story as the cards unfold. I typically don't flip all the cards at once and then, have a spoiler and run to the end of the reading. I like to work through it as a storyline that unfolds naturally. So when I see the Tower card there in this challenging position, and given some of your notes on the screen, it makes total sense to me that it's almost like you'd be dropping a bomb in their world, in this world of other people. Now the thing is, because we worked together before, I know you have a strong, heartfelt connection with this place. Was it Panola County or something? Because of the sense of deep roots. You've got family there, you've got friends there, people there, and you've been spending time there, and a lot of changes have happened in your family recently, and so now you're dealing with it. And sometimes, like, cataclysmic events can be very healing. I've gone through a lot of those things in my life, so I feel like I have a sense of authority to talk about this kind of stuff. Sometimes it can be very traumatic, catastrophic, cataclysmic failings of some kind, and yet out of the bad comes the good. You destroy anything and everything that is obsolete, redundant, unjust, untrue, unfair, and then whatever is left is the truth. And then you go from there. It's a scary thing. The Tower card, like, a lot of people want to run from that, but by accepting it, if you think of it as a form of energy, by accepting that, it's just like let it happen. Just let it happen. And then out of the bad comes the good. Let's have a look. Let's keep going. These are pretty strong cards here. This is a major arcana. This is a major arcana. So in some ways you could say this situation about considering buying property and really planting your feet solidly in Panola County, it might have a sort of sense of fated destiny to all of it, where some of these situations and matters are beyond your control. You're still a participant. But to me, this reading, I said earlier, it feels a bit strange to me because I'm feeling a bit of detachment. I'm sensing you as a bit detached from the reading and observing it as like a movie where you're seeing your role in the movie. You're seeing the role of these other characters, the other people. It's like you're getting a chance to look at a screenplay and going through the screenplay and figuring out as you go, rather than having to live it in life. We're getting a sneak preview here about what might happen should you decide to buy the properties. Let's have a look. So let's say you decide to go into it. You know you're going to be essentially dropping a bomb on the community, especially the siblings. It's literally like dropping a bomb, and it's life-changing, and it could be traumatic and tumultuous, but it could also be very healing. How do we deal with this? Okay, Well, I've got the Eight of Wands here, so this is a lot of power, a lot of energy, a lot of excitement built up around the issue. I'm not saying to go and buy the houses. What I'm suggesting here is to, with the Eight of Wands, seriously capture that passion that you're feeling inside of you right now and take your idea very seriously. Definitely, very seriously, look into the prospect of buying a house during this Mercury retrograde period. For example, go through the motions of it. Start examining your finances. Start talking with I don't know, like realtors or other people in the neighborhood where you feel you have really good connections, and focus on the positive things. Really, really focus on the positive things. You already know plenty about the negative stuff, so don't worry about that. Focus all your energy and enthusiasm on something that seems to be really sparking you into like a new sense of destiny. Follow up on that. Go for it. Give it a chance. Give it due process. Give it really serious consideration. Do the homework. Check out the numbers and start, going onto realtors.com and websites and talking to whatever you have to do to actually make this happen. And then this is another thing that I'm feeling here was maybe you could, you got some friends and people out there in the neighborhood, in that area. Maybe run that idea by them from a very enthusiastic perspective. Let them know, I'm thinking of actually buying a house here. Maybe even buying mom's old house, and maybe relocating out here because I'm feeling really good vibes about it. Don't mention any of this. Just focus on the good stuff, the things that make you happy and excited and turned on, and then perhaps just run it by, talk it out with a few people there before you make any decisions. Because this is really positive and enthusiastic and I guess I would say encouraging. But also, like with the Eight of Wands, there's a lot of passion pent up here, and you don't want to trip up. With heading into Mercury retrograde right now, and all of this stuff going on, with all these potential conflicts going on, it's a really, really good time to grow and evolve through challenging situations here. Okay, relationships. Okay. Now, again, over the next few days, remember the moon is in Leo right now. It's going to move into Virgo. That's going to change the vibrations to much more favorable discussions, talks around property and so on. So I would time it. I would deliberately time a couple of meetings, phone calls, hangouts with some of the good people in your neighborhood, the Panola County, and perhaps run the idea in front of them. Focus on the harmony. There's plenty of disharmony and conflict here. You can come back to that later. But take advantage of this sweet spot, okay, in a few days. Okay, I'll just give you a heads up. Give me a second here. I'm going to check something for you, Gregory. So the moon is going to be in Virgo like on the 12th and the 13th, okay? Like say 12th, 13th, and 14th, something around there. What you could do is around, like maybe around the 13th, okay? Is try and have some meetings, preferably lively, fun meetings with people you like and people who like you, okay? Forget about the conflict, focus on the sweet stuff, and run your ideas in front of them. And then think about it. To me, this is all about the action. Take action, do some of the homework, understand that you're going to basically be kind of dropping a bomb on a couple people's lives, but you still have a right to live your life, okay? So I hope that helps. Keep this fluid, keep it running. I would focus on sometime around the 13th to the 11th, like in a couple of days, 13th or 14th or somewhere in there. And try to focus on the sweet stuff, okay? and then see how you feel, because it's just about that time when Mercury's going to go retrograde, where whatever decisions that you make during the retrograde, if you lock into anything, there's a very good chance you could regret the decisions. So it's better to take advantage of this time, live through it, bounce the ideas around, shake it around a bit, and then coming into early and middle of November, start to rethink everything again, okay? So I hope that helps you, Gregory. Okay, let's keep going over here. Next up, Pretty Maika. Hello, Frankie. So, Pretty Maika, if you just let us know that you're still here. And if you've got any notes for me, like what kind of, for example, Pretty Maika, because we've worked together before, I know we have. It would be like, okay, TL, what kind of messages do you have for me tonight regarding the subject of ... love, romance, finance, health, job, career, whatever, okay? What kind of messages do you have for me tonight, Tarot Illumination, regarding the issue of ... It just be, all I need is one word, okay? 1 or 2 words. If you want to do that, otherwise I'm happy to just do a perfectly blind reading. Don't worry about it. After Pretty Maika, we've got Nikki, and then Blanca S. Okay. Let's have a look here. Shuffling up, people. Shuffle it up. Let's shuffle it up. Oh, I just saw some other of your notes there. That means practice law here, TL. Wow, so cool. That's fair. Yeah, see, that's another thing. I should tell that to people. Hold on, Pretty Maika. Remember, okay. So, Gregory, that's brilliant. You know, usually I tell people before the reading, hey everybody, remember, this is your reading. And some of the people here are already like avid tarot card readers and psychics and mediums and healers already. But it is your reading, and you're perfectly welcome and invited to reinterpret it for yourself. And also, as some of you have noticed, some of the other people here tonight also give their alternate perspectives, so that's really helpful. So Gregory just brought up something so obvious, you know, with the Justice card. Practice law in the new neighborhood. Makes sense. Perfect opportunity. Yeah. All right. Let's have a look. Pretty Maika, you are up. Oh, wait a minute. You just wrote some notes. Hold on, let me just check your notes. It says here, hey TL, I've been feeling great these past few days. Yay! My kids and I are good. I'm doing great. Got off great. Got my boyfriend back. Ha! What kind of messages do you have with me tonight regarding my love life? Oh my God. If I remember, this has been going kind of like a bit of a seesaw with your love life. Am I in? Am I out? Is he back? Is he gone? All of that kind of stuff. My kids are good. I'm doing great. Got my boyfriend back. Is your boyfriend the father of the kids? I can't remember. I think we talked about this before. Finances. Just being me. Okay. All right. Okay, so what kind of message do we have for tonight for regarding love life and finances? Why not? Do it all together. Have you heard that expression? I'm not saying it's relevant right now. No finance, no romance. That's usually the girls who say that, and I don't blame them. Seriously. It's really hard to live off sentiment. It's like, I love you so much. I love you. You're so gorgeous. You're so beautiful. Like, oh, He said, our passionate love life is so amazing. And then the girl goes, yeah, that's fantastic, but sorry, no finance, no romance. It's like, I'm not trying to like, because it goes both ways these days. There are a lot of men who, sorry, I'm gonna stop that conversation. It's not even a conversation. I'm gonna stop talking about that because I'm gonna stick my foot in my mouth. Okay. But I'm just going to say it because there are guys out there who do the same thing. They're hunting for wealthy women. And so in their brain, they're thinking, no finance, no romance. They're only after women with money. I'm not kidding. All right, let's do this. Okay, let's have a look. I'm glad you're feeling happy, Pretty Mika, these last few days, because it's been a bit of a roller coaster. I know it has because you've been here a few times recently. All right. Let's have a look. In finances, just be me. Oh, so that yes. Okay, the yes thing, it sounds like, because I was asking, like, is your boyfriend the father of the kids? And it looks like you said yes. I don't know if that's correct, if I interpreted that correctly, but let's just say it is. So anyway, kids really like it when they have a mom and a dad. I've been in so many different situations, and I've seen situations where kids, like if the kids can sense that mommy and daddy are having a really hard time, sometimes the kids are thinking, you know what, I wish they would just break up so we can have some peace and quiet. But some kids are terrified at the concept of mommy and daddy breaking up. Because especially little kids, they become very aware that their whole life, they might not be able to talk about it, but little children are extremely acutely aware of how dependent they are on their parents, their parental figures. Okay. So they might not be able to talk about it like the way adults talk about it, but the kids are always, they've always got their radar is tuned in to sense about the condition of mommy and daddy. Like if things are really bad with mommy and daddy, doesn't mean we're not going to have a mommy and daddy anymore. Are we going to be hungry? Are we going to lose our home? And things like that. So kids are acutely aware, but they might not be able to talk about it. That's all. So what's really important, Pretty Mika, is that you're happy. Also, the same message from earlier from Gregory's reading. Take advantage of the 13th and the 14th, like basically the time when the moon is in Virgo. Don't worry about whatever your sun sign, moon sign, ascendant is. Just take advantage of those next couple of days to have a little bit of an oasis, a little bit of time in harmony, because we've got so many stressful things going on. We need every little bit of peace and harmony that we can find. And when the moon is in Virgo, from the way I look at the charts, that should be like a little oasis of time. They're tiny little kids. Oh, they're just tiny. Okay. One is 2 and one is 5 months. Okay. Well, even then, they're still aware. I remember I was extremely aware of my family dynamics when I was tiny, when I was just a little microscopic blob. But I've seen it in other kids too. All right, Pretty Mika, let's have a look. What kind of news do we have regarding love life and finances? We're going to just roll it all into one reading. The cards will speak for themselves, so we'll see what the messages are for you. Okay, Pretty Mika? All right, let's have a look. Let's have a look. All right, here we go. This is it. All right, here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. Let's have a look at the weather for you. Okay, we've got the star. I'm really happy to see this because, a lot of people see this as the energy of hope. The energy of, believing, knowing that you are guided, you are protected, that there is something above and beyond your mundane three-dimensional world of things like chores, finances, sleep, not enough money, instability, all the things that destabilize life in the world and your whole environment. With the star card here, my feeling is it's almost like, I'm not saying don't worry. All I'm suggesting is that really, in a very simple way, you are guided and you are protected. And I think a lot of it is because your heart is in the right place. You want the right thing. You want what's good for you. You want what's good for your kids. You want what's good for the home and the relationships and all of that. And when you take personal responsibility for living how can I say this? Hold on. It's like you've heard this expression, you have to believe it to see it. Okay? Now, for a lot of scientists and folks who are heavily locked into 3D life, which is the vast bulk of humanity, the usual expression is, you have to see it to believe it. Okay? Understandable. Okay? But in this situation with the Hope card, my feeling is that the message is that no matter how bad things are, chaotic, confusing, is he coming? Is he going? Is he going to be back? It kind of doesn't matter, because he's going to be who he is. He's going to do what he does. He's going to have his up days. He's going to have his down days. And that will affect you in your life, in your world. However, to me, it feels like you have this these guardian angels type of force field around you, where the message is don't worry about him too much, okay, Pretty Mika? Just take care of yourself. Believe that everything's okay. Trust that everything's okay. Trust that you are guided and that you are protected, and that your job is to stay in a state of mind of belief and trust and hope. Even when all the evidence points to other things. That's the word fear. Even though you might be very, very fearful, is he going to come and go again? Is he going to run away again? Is he going to bring in any money? Am I going to have enough money to cope with all of these things? What's going to happen if I screw up with money and he screws up with money and he disappears? Oh no, oh no, oh no. You see, all of those things are in here. All of that stuff is fear. And fear is that thing, false evidence appearing real. F-E-A-R. So the Hope card is saying, you could be scared if you want. It's perfectly natural to be scared about all the horrible things that could happen in such a precarious situation of being a mother with 2 little kids and a boyfriend who's sort of sometimes there, sometimes not. It kind of doesn't matter. What I'm sensing, well, it does matter, but the things, it's almost like a destiny, things are going to get bad every now and again. Things are going to be okay every now and again. And some of the things you can't control. So it's almost like what's that Alcoholics Anonymous prayer? I can't remember it. The Serenity Prayer. God help me to, accept the things that I can't control. God help me to control the things that I can control. And God help me to recognize the difference. It's something like that, okay? So that's kind of what I'm sensing with the Hope card for you, okay? Pretty? What I'm sensing is that you're lucky. You're basically lucky. You've got divine protection, whether you like it or know it or not. You are guided. You are protected. You just have to believe that, okay? You have to continue to believe. Like, no matter how scary things get, you have to know that you are guided and that you are protected. And I'm going to play that song after your reading. Okay? Here's the situation. So we had this earlier too. And I guess right now it sounds to me like you're actually quite happy because the boyfriend's back. Dun, 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 dun. Na 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 na. My boyfriend's back. La na 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 na. My boyfriend's back. That's some kind of old Motown song, I think from the 50s or the 60s. I don't remember. But it's called My Boyfriend's Back. So even if he is a bit of a handful, maybe he's, he's out and about running around, or he's like scared of the responsibilities of being a father of 2 little kids. At least for now, the situation is something to celebrate, And it sounds to me like, at least for now, you're happy. The reason I'm saying at least for now is because inevitably there are going to be periods where things are going to be challenging, okay? However, right now, the message is, please remember, no matter what, you are guided and you are protected. And that is probably the thing that needs celebration more than anything. Maybe it's great to have your boyfriend back. But please allow that, he's been coming and going, and, you still have to find a way to be happy anyway. So enjoy it while you can, and celebrate while you can. At least for you and the little kids. To me, it feels like you and the little kids, you are guided and protected. And let the story unfold. Trust in the events and the circumstances. And there's no point in trying to force an outcome. There's no point in trying to force a situation or a relationship to work. You just literally trust and believe that you are guided and you're protected. Enjoy the sweet moments while you can. And when things are really challenging, you just turn inwards, turn to your guardian angels, turn to your invisible friends, literally, like I do, and ask them for guidance and protection, okay? Like if you're feeling really lost, it's okay to pray for guidance and protection. And dear angels, give me signs, give me messages, give me unequivocal hints, synchronistic events that keep me guided and protected so that I know that I'm on path, okay? All right, let's have a look. What's the challenges here? Okay, so this doesn't surprise me. With the 9 of Swords here, my feeling is that deep down you know that at any moment things could become stressful again. Okay, well guess what? That's what happens in families. That's what happens with moms and dads and becoming a parent. It sounds like you're a parent. It's just a little 2-year-old. You've got a little 5-month-old. It's perfectly natural that you would be feeling a lot of stress in some ways, especially if you have a history of instability with the love life and the romance with your boyfriend. Okay? However, you've got this. Okay? So no matter how stressed you might be, like if you're, let's say you're putting a real sweet smile on the situation right now because you are literally happy that your boyfriend's back. And that kind of happiness radiates outward like a plant in bloom. But deep down, it looks to me like there's this deep fear that is just lingering, and that at any moment things could easily turn to SHIT and you'd be in deep doo-doo again. However, remember, that is fear, okay? False evidence appearing real. Oh, how is me? Oh, God, I don't know if I can take it anymore. It's too much for me. Oh, God, oh, no, no. Remember, most of that's in your brain because this trumps this, okay? Let's have a look. So how are we going to deal with this? Because in some ways, you're kind of emotionally vulnerable. Like happy, scared, happy, scared, happy, scared, happy, scared, on and off. Which is understandable, being a new mom. I don't know what's the expression, but like, once you're a parent, you're a parent. You can maybe, separate, or the dad can separate, but the father is a parent forever. Even if he's not there, he's a parent. And it can be a very scary thing for a lot of adults to become parents. So it's understandable if every now and again you have moments of terror, like night terrors, like, oh my God, have I got enough food in the refrigerator for tomorrow? I better go check. And then you realize, oh, it's okay, don't worry, I got it. We'll figure something out. Don't you worry, okay? So how are we going to deal with this? This looks to me like you're on a bit of a constant emotional roller coaster where when something sweet happens, perfectly fine. Just go ahead and celebrate. But deep down inside of you, because of previous experience, you're conditioned with expectations that something horrible is going to happen again. Like it's just, I guarantee, it's almost like clockwork or something. So how are we going to deal with that? I'm not saying how are you going to deal with a wayward boyfriend. I'm saying this is a message about you, including your finances, like the instabilities with finances, okay? Happy, sad, happy, sad, happy, sad. Like, oh, we got a paycheck, thank God. Oh my God, we spent all the money in 5 days. It was supposed to last for 7 days. Oh no, oh no, oh no. But it's either way, the way I'm looking at this, in terms of the relationship, love life, finances, it's all about you and the emotional roller coasters, like in your heart and in your mind, okay? Remember, this is very much mental energy. This is deep heart energy over here. So I'm going to show you. Every now and again, I'm not going to do it tonight, but I sometimes do these big group spreads, group readings for everybody here. And I use the Tarot Lumination heart spread. And the whole idea with the heart spread is to figure out how are we going to bring everything back into harmony in our whole body. And I think it was Nikki who was talking earlier about healing. And this is a good place to come and access like new perspectives on healing. So what happens for myself, because I'm just as susceptible to all the ailments like everyone else suffers, it's so easy to live in your brain, okay, pretty? It's so easy to live in your brain. A lot of day-to-day fear is felt up here. When you're feeling it in your heart and your guts, that's really bad. But most of that Nine of Swords, I feel as though it's all up here. It's in terms of worry, stress, like, oh my God, when's the next bad thing going to happen? Oh no, oh no, oh no. And yet, right, you still have the capacity to be loving and happy and celebrate, okay? And so you get this cycle, mental, head and heart, head, heart, back and forth, head to heart. So what I try to do with my own personal life is to bring, okay, let's go into reverse. Instead of the heart being the servant of the head, okay, which is bad news for the heart, what we need to do is bring the head into service of the heart, okay? Because this is where real life occurs. It's here, okay? Here. This is where, like, the massive aura comes out of our body. It's from the heart center. We can project everything through our brains, and we have all. This is where we kind of like sense everything. But life is lived through here. So with this reading, what I'm sensing with the Three of Cups and the Nine of Swords is there's this oscillation, okay, between happy, sad, happy, sad, happy, sad, happy, sad. The sad parts, the scary stuff is happening up here, and the sweet stuff is happening here. So the idea is to get everything operating from here so that even though your brain is sensing fear, like, oh my God, where's the next money? How am I going to pay the next tank of gasoline? How are we going to come up for the next rent or the next mortgage payment? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You still got this, okay? And you still can remember from this reading, you are guided, you are protected, okay? Here. That's all I'm trying to say. That's all I was trying to say. So, to me, it looks like you're very, very vulnerable to the natural process of fear. But instead of fear like, oh, that's a problem, it turns into a freaking nightmare. So it's easy to oscillate between fear and happy, happy, sad, happy, sad, happy, sad, happy, sad. So how do we deal with that? Instead of trying to solve the problems, it's more about how are you going to deal with the waves, the ups and downs, so that you become more and more familiar with realizing, my God, I really am guided, I really am protected. There are things happening in my life that are above and beyond my understanding right now. Okay, so my boyfriend is coming and going, and it's stressful. He's back, I'm happy. He might go, I might get sad. But there is something bigger going on, and your job is just to be pretty. Okay, your job is to be pretty, Mahika, and be happy, trust, believe, know that you are guided and you protected. Now that's very hard to do, especially when there's no evidence, okay? So how are we going to deal with those periods of time when there's no obvious evidence that you are guided and protected? In other words, you can't just sit at home and wait for everything to be happy and feel happy all day, every day, in order to know that you are guided and protected. You have to understand, you have to believe it to see it. You have to know in your heart of hearts that you are guided and protected even when scary things are happening, okay? So how do we deal with that? Okay, it's strength. Okay, so what I see is happening here is that you're having a chance to mature, evolve spiritually, okay? Taking this part of yourself, which is the raw animal self of you, your ego, where at one moment you could be ferociously angry, frightened and scared for your life and the welfare of your kids. The next moment you could be outrageously proud and happy about your life and your world and your kids. But that's happening down here in the three-dimensional world of human life. What's happening over here is that there's a whole other journey going on in the spirit realm. And so I think what's happening here, the way to look at your love life and the finances, is that this is a tremendous opportunity for your personal spiritual growth and maturity, where you can start to see life in the world, everything that's happening in your life and world, as a part of an infinite journey, where life goes on every day. 1 minute it's up, 1 minute it's down. Good news, bad news. It's just like watching the news on TV or the stock market or something. Some days are up, sometimes are... But anyway, the whole point, the way to handle your situation with the love life and the finances right now is to look at the whole story from a spiritual perspective, where you realize, oh my gosh, I'm not just this woman who's got 2 kids and a lot of stress, and my boyfriend comes and goes, and every now and I get to feel happy when he's around and everything feels like it might be okay. There's a whole other story going on here, where the whole idea is to accept the fear, understand the fears and the ups and downs anyway, but you do not live in fear. You do not allow that fear to take you and own you. You own this fear by knowing it is your opportunity right now with these stressful situations, like to see life, your life and your world from a bigger perspective, and to know for a fact that you are guided and protected. So I'm going to play you the song right now so that you understand what I mean, okay? Hello, Fritterly, I see you. Hello, Robin, I see you. All right, I'm going to play this song. Stay there. I have to kind of type it into the jukebox. Okay, it's called I Am Guided, I Am Protected. So the important thing is to listen to the words, okay? Okay, pretty? I am guided, I am protected, 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 I am guided, I am protected. When the light of hope it fades, when all faith is blown away, when all sense of trust goes down, when a smile turns into frown, when it feels there's no relief, nothing in which to believe,
Desperate in woe and grief, angels come reminding me. I am guided, I am protected, 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 I am guided, I am protected. Angels gather close to me, show me what I cannot see. Angels take me by the hand, lift me when I cannot stand. Angels lead me through the dark, soothe and tend a broken heart, laughing at the circumstance, crying while we sing and dance. I am guided, I am protected, 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 I am guided, I am protected.
You see? You see what I'm talking about? I hope the song probably makes a lot more sense than the reading, okay? So there you go. Thank you, Pretty. Nikki, you're up. Here we go. Let's have a look. And then after that is Blanca. I'm going to shuffle all this stuff, put it away. Start again. Make sure. Messages from Chris. Oh boy. Okay. Let's have a look here, see what's going on. Messages for the work week ahead. All right. Thank you, Pretty. I'm just looking at Frittely's notes. Hey, how's everybody doing? The Raccoon Buffet is doing brisk business tonight. It's windy and sprinkling. Nice. Oh, it's probably something to do with that big storm that came up through the Delta recently. Came up, I think it's called Delta or something like that. Some big storm. The Raccoon Buffet. Do you give them like little those little economy hot dog things, little hot dogs? That's what I used to do. I used to go and get little bags of. What I used to do, I would go to the dollar store when I had my little furry critters outside, my little furry friends who lived outside. I would go to the dollar store and buy little, small packs of those like super cheap hot dogs. And I just, rip them up and just take the hot dog and just kind of rip it from shreds and just throw them out there like little nuggets. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. I have 3 little furry friends over here. I feel very blessed. All right. Sorry, I had to share that story. Thank you, Nikki. All right. So, now that is a deal. Now, Frittily, you've got a very good nose for these things, obviously. They get bun-length chicken dogs. Oh, wow. Now marked down $1.99 for 30. Oh my God, you can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with that. You're probably very popular, Fritterly. Very popular with the little critters. You've made a lot of friends. The usual crackers and Pop-Tarts and cookies. Oh my God. What a diet. What a fantastic diet. Crackers, Pop-Tarts and cookies, hot dogs and red grapes. Yep. Nikki, as far as I recall, Chris is one of your folks, your spirit guides, has a reputation of being a little bit mischievous. Well, I'm just sensing here tonight that he's actually working quite hard to be quite serious. And he does have good intentions, of course, but he was showing off a tie. Does this make any sense for Nikki? It always seems to happen with you, Nikki, with your spirit guides. I felt like he was being very, very kind of mellow, but he wanted to make sure that I understand that he's serious, and he's going to be serious. And he showed this by showing up in a suit. I don't know if he has a lot of wardrobe or anything, but it felt to me like he put on what looks like a business suit and a shirt and a tie, if that makes sense. But he also wanted to show me that I'm not going to play completely super conservative, Mr. Button Down, blue chip, whatever. So he showed me this tie. And the tie looked like it was like a real psychedelic thing from the 1960s or 70s or something. And that was his kind of little, like, some sort of... I don't know if that makes sense to you, Nikki, but that's what I was sensing here. I just thought I'd share that. What's this? Hold on, I'm trying to see the notes. Who's Chris? Is Chris one of your spirit guides, or is this a real person? The last... oh, he's the most closely in 3D. And he was the last one of your spirit guides to leave her. Oh, okay. Okay, so Chris is a spirit. Chris is not a 3D physical human being. Chris is actually a spirit guide. Is that correct? I need to understand that because I felt something quite significant here. It was definitely a gentleman in a suit who was, trying to be professional, but he was also making sure that it's like just for a bit of fun. He's got this wacky, like psychedelic tie. So anyway, let's. Anyway, so I'm going to get on with your reading, Nikki. There's about a 40-second time delay on these live shows, so I can't see everything in real time. Oh, he's a guide. Okay, so what I was feeling would make more sense. Okay, cool. All right. All right, let's have a look. All right. I remember, was it last week or something where, Nikki, you were saying how some exciting events are starting to happen for you back east over there in the workplace. Something going on. And we had to do something like a reading where, oh yeah, normally I don't remember readings. I don't watch the recordings. I don't store anything. But it was something like, yeah, great, Nikki, go for it. Fantastic. This could be awesome. But don't let yourself get burned out. Don't let yourself turn into a workaholic, okay? Because that'll backfire on you. Okay, let's have a look. Yep, got it. Okay, got it. All right, so what kind of messages do we have for the week ahead? Filtered through Chris. All right. Oh, I just found something happened over here, Nikki. You know how your guides can get pretty animated? He was trying to get involved in the shuffling, and then he kind of went, you know what, actually I should just back off. I'm trying to be serious, you just do your shuffling. And then he couldn't help it. He just said, like, you know what, I really enjoy being one of Nikki's spirit guides. I just wanted to let you know. He's really he loves being your spirit guide. One of your spirit guides. Okay, here's what we go. Here's the situation. This is all about work. What do you need to know about like this whole new deal stuff coming up next week? Here's the situation. Here's the challenges with all of that. Here's how we're going to handle it. Here's the weather. I'll think of it as circumstantial energy. As you know, I'm going to refer directly to the planets. You've got this. Okay, so with the Hermit card here, my feeling is that it's very, very important that you maintain really, really, what's the word? Really serious, high-grade professional boundaries. Like, what's the... like for the week ahead, let's say, you know, because Mercury's going to flip retrograde in a few days, so the next few weeks might be a little bit choppy. What I'm sensing here from the Hermit card is, by all means, fully participate in everything, but make sure that you maintain an extremely high level of like singularity, where, okay, hold on, sorry, this is going to be really hard for me to explain, but I'll try. What I'm sensing from the Hermit here for you is that the message out there, the circumstantial energy is that there's going to be a lot of buzz, a lot of going on, and it could be very easy for you to become like immersed into it to the point where it's almost disorienting. You lose a sense of self. Like perhaps maybe if it's like really fun or exciting, or you get turned on by the opportunities and the potential, where there's a to me it looks like there's a high risk that professional boundaries and your professional demeanor could easily become a little too loose, and that's when you become vulnerable. Even if it's a really, let's say, fertile, inspiring, fun, rewarding situation, you cannot afford to kind of dissolve into it just because it might be rewarding and exciting and you feel appreciated and your team, they like you and all of that kind of stuff. It feels to me with the Hermit, it's saying make sure, like you've got, like if it was a computer, pretend you're a computer. Make sure you've got all your security systems are very, very high integrity, very high levels, so that like when you walk into a room, you are aware that you're walking into a room and you don't get overwhelmed by the energy of the room. Like if the room is very stressed and exciting right now, you don't suck it up and that energy becomes part of you. And if the room is in a real downer and the team are having real problems, you don't go down with that. It's really, really important to maintain your integrity as your singular, solitary self. That is the key to survival in this situation, okay? Especially if it's kind of a newish thing. You might be in your element, but you might be in a new environment. So that's what I'm sensing with the Hermit, okay? And then Chris is saying, don't worry, Nikki, you've still got me. But still, it's up to you, Nikki, to make sure that you like really seriously keep yourself to yourself. Not by withdrawing, but making sure that you understand that there are boundaries. There are professional boundaries. Like if you have to, like say, you know what, give me a moment, I need to think about that. Or, you know what, could you say that again, please? I need to make sure I've got my notes and information correct about whatever it is. All I'm suggesting is no one can do this for you. It might feel a bit scary, like how on earth am I supposed to be part of the team when I'm secretly segregating myself? I don't see it that way, Nikki. What I'm sensing here, in order to be valuable, whatever's happening in your work week ahead, it's so important to maintain your personal, solitary integrity without offending anybody or hurting anybody. Just making sure that your protective barriers are in very good condition. Your firewalls, your emotional, physical, spiritual, psychic firewalls are fully activated, okay? And what's the situation? Okay, this is a really, really promising energy here. This is a card of sacred opportunity, as you know, especially with pentacles, and because we're talking about work, it probably includes money and reward, opportunities for you to really, let's say, expand on your talents and gifts and resources so that it becomes a reciprocal thing where the more that your talents and resources and gifts become optimized in the work situation, the more the work situation becomes rewarding to you. But it is very much like on the horizons there. Can you see? You have to keep your eye on the prize, okay? But we're just starting, okay? This is still very early days, so that's really, really good. But if you think of it as a journey, okay, to get, hold on, I'm trying to get the cameras to pick it up. I don't know, it's not picking it up. But if you can get, so it's not doing it. Anyway, never mind. So, to get from here to there, think of it as a journey where it's so important to maintain your integrity. You don't get lost in the team. You don't get lost in the fervor. You don't get lost in the excitement. High levels of personal integrity, security, psychic boundaries, psychic barriers, and all of that, okay? Now, let's have a look. What's the problems with this? Okay. Ouch. What I'm feeling is ouch here. One of the problems that you might encounter, Nikki, during this next work week is that if and or when you detect something that is out of whack, out of alignment, like misinformation, misunderstandings, or incorrect perceptions or miscommunications, to me it looks like it's almost like, how can I say this? It's like, let's just say you're at work and somebody says something or does something that you know is inherently not viable, or it's not properly thought out, or you know deep down it's not going to work, it's not good for the team, it's not good for work, not good for business or anything. And yet, you want to get along with the crowd, with the team, or whatever. So there's a deep fear. I've got two readings for this one. There's a deep fear of speaking out the truth as you perceive the truth. Deep fear of speaking out the truth in case that being a whistleblower and calling somebody out creates conflict in the workplace, okay? So that's understandable. You know, when you talk about pecking orders in the workplace, and there's power structures and, you know, workplace politics, and then somebody kind of opens their mouth and says, hey, you know what? I noticed that blah, 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 and blah isn't quite right or isn't working, or there's something wrong with the accounting here, or the way things are organized over here. And you just blurt it out because all you have are good intentions. Okay? And yet, even though you might have pointed out something that is erroneous or not useful or helpful to the team or wrong or actually detrimental to the team, the fact that you even spoke out and did something about it might cause offense. Okay? Simply by, exposing somebody or something for being a little bit not quite right or a little bit flawed. So in some ways, there's a fear of speaking out and calling out the truth for fear of offending somebody. And also there's a fear of speaking out and calling out what you perceive as misinformation or falsehoods in case you make a mistake. In case I thought blah, 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 blah. I wish I hadn't said that now. So I think you might be a little bit vulnerable to Mercury retrograde over the next few weeks, but during this week, because we're actually at the moment of stationary retrograde coming up in this week ahead. The actual date is whatever it is, the 14th or whatever. But anyway, it's an understandable fear in the workplace, miscommunications, fear of speaking out because of exposing somebody, fear of speaking out because in case you speak out, but it turns out that you were out of line. Okay? So how are we going to deal with this? Because obviously you don't want to screw up, and they don't want you to screw up, but still, work has to be done. And if it means when you're doing like brainstorming, if you're doing things like brainstorming in the workplace, and it's part of your job to identify problems, pinpoint problems, and then solve problems, that can put you in a delicate position. Or if it's someone else's job and you notice that they're not doing their job as well as it could be, that puts you in a delicate position too. So it's like workplace politics, quite tricky. So how are we going to deal with this? Oh, okay, so we have the Eight of Wands here. So, this is quite demanding, Nikki. I'm going to tell you what I feel here. You might not like it because it puts you in a position where you might feel vulnerable, but I'm going to call it out anyway. This is the Eight of Wands, okay? So, in the workplace, I'm going to go over here for a second. So, next week in the workplace, to me it feels like, number one, maintain your shields, maintain your integrity, maintain your identity, maintain your sovereign selfhood. No one else can do it but you. So it might feel as though like you're very claustrophobic or lonely, and where else can I go? Who can I turn to? But you might have to get used to that. If it's a high pressure environment where you are being called upon to be your most awesome self more than ever before. And so that's the great opportunity. The challenges are that when you're in a workplace where you're being called upon to be the most effective person you can be more than ever before, a lot of times that comes out with by example. In other words, the work that you do, the words that come out, the documents that you prepare, the strategies that the plans that whatever it is that you come up with, the communications that you have to make. Okay? So, if there's a deep fear that you might hurt somebody's feelings or that you might say something wrong, it's perfectly understandable. But what the Eight of Wands is telling me, stay deeply, deeply in your core center and go for it anyway. Okay? In other words, if you feel fundamentally in your heart and soul that what you have to say has to be said, even if it, causes friction or problems, or by acting as a kind of a whistleblower, you expose someone else for the errors in their ways, you speak up anyway. Okay? It requires great courage. And then you have to frame it in such a way that there's no offense. I'm sorry, I hate to have to do this, but I have to speak out about this thing. Please don't be offended, but blah, 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 let me explain, blah, 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 and so on. So the Eight of Wands is basically saying, Nikki, be the most awesome, just kind of be almost outrageous. Give yourself permission to be outrageous and not worry too much about whether you say something wrong or you offend somebody. Because it's all, to me it feels like that's almost like what they're looking for in the workplace. They want somebody who has enough courage to speak out no matter what. Even if it does disrupt things, because that's how you go through the process of creative destruction so that you can end up with good outcomes. So it's a little bit scary. The reading is a little bit scary, but Chris is telling me, like, just remind her, Teal. She's got me. She's got the rest of us. Don't worry, okay? It's scary. Okay, but you've got your spirit guides. And he's kind of doing this as well. You know how guys do that with their ties, like to make sure that everything's cool, like making sure they look good, making sure my tie is on correct, my collar's on. He's kind of doing that, like making sure, like, we got this. We got this, Nikki, okay? Don't you worry. We got this. We got this, okay? Nikki, hear me. We got this, okay? That's kind of what I'm sensing, okay? You got this, all right? So I hope that makes sense. If you have to watch that reading again, I wouldn't be surprised. But anyway, I hope you get the gist of it, all right? Thank you, Nikki. You never know what's going to happen on this show. You never know, not even a slightest clue how readings are going to turn out. They just turn out the way they turn out. It's always for the good. Sometimes the messages are painful and awkward. Sometimes they're like, oh, duh, of course, duh. I should have known, it's obvious. You know, sometimes you can't tell unless it's right in your face. All right, Blanca asks, you're up. All right, let's have a look. So Blanca, obviously you're a little concerned because of the pulmonary fibrosis and a double lung surgery. What do they call it? Replacement lungs. Blanca, are you still here? I hope so. And obviously you're concerned about your autistic son going into a group home. I can't imagine the stress of the double lung pulmonary surgery. I can't imagine the stress of having the autistic son to be moved into the home. These are two astronomically stressful circumstances happening simultaneously. You must be very strong, Blanca asks, otherwise you would not have received these challenges in this lifetime. So it's happening for a reason. I would say, I don't know if you've ever been to this show before. I'm guessing you, I don't remember, but it feels to me like, again, it's like one of those things, synchronicity. You're at the right place with the right people at the right time for the right reasons, okay? This is it. This is what we do here on this channel. I know it's not a transplant. Yeah, okay? Transplant. That's what it's called. All right, let's have a look. See what's going on. What kind of messages do we have here today for Blanca S regarding the double lung transplant and the autistic son being moved into a group home? Fact, you are strong. It's almost like, you know, have you heard of that saying, the stronger you are, the more challenges you will receive? I was just, you know, while I was shuffling there, Blanca, I was just thinking, I was trying to, hold on, give me a second. What I was feeling, while I was shuffling there, I felt myself become very, very elevated. You know how I've shown you in those books, kind of like where the spirit teleports kind of outside of the body, like you're going into an astral travel, or like when you go into dreamland, you can feel yourself moving to other worlds, other timelines. other situations. I felt that in my body just now, where like my spirit kind of went from here to and started hovering like a drone. It was like my spirit was hovering like a drone, looking at the cards, looking at your name on the post-it note, and the little words about the pulmonary transplant and the double lung transplant and the autistic son. And I kept thinking, wow, I can barely compute what the stress levels must be. And yet here you are at the Tarot Lumination Sunday Night Live thing, getting a little tarot reading. And I kept thinking, how on earth would I cope? I don't know. And I started thinking, there's a bigger thing going on here. It's like there's some kind of synchronistic stuff going on. I don't know what it means, but I started seeing everything from a much, much bigger perspective, as though I was up in heaven and I could see time before, during, and after, and how basically everything is okay. Everything is exactly as it should be, and that there are other characters involved in this story. Like regarding the transplant, there's going to be doctors, anesthesiologists, nurses, practitioners, technology, equipment, everything. There's a lot of stuff that goes into all of this. And all of these people, especially the doctors, they don't do this thing like, I got to do a transplant tomorrow. Okay, like, no. These people are, I think you're dealing with people who are operating at very high frequency levels, and they're just doing what they do. And as far as they're concerned, it's just another day. Okay? So even though these are hugely stressful events in your life, as far as these doctors are concerned, it's just another day for them. Like, so they'll be like looking at their charts, like, let's have a look. Let's see. Okay, so yes, we did all the homework on Blanca S. Like, so, okay, so, what's today? Okay, so we're working on Blanca today. All right, so is everything good? We've got all the transplant lungs ready to go over here. We got all that sorted out. We got the operating team. We got the operating theater. Everything's booked. Everything's cool to go. Is everybody good to go? Okay, let's go. Let's do it. And then they just go off and do it. It's just another day at work for them. And yeah, it's very stressful. It's very, very challenging. But, you know, the way I kept thinking of it, it's just like, this is all kind of like, it's just routine. It's really, really cool. You're going through a phenomenal chapter in your life. And things will be what they are. But I felt this really powerful sensation that just everything is just fine. Everything's just fine, you know, with the transplant stuff. I haven't even finished shuffling the cards yet. And also about the autistic son being moved to a group home. Again, I felt the same thing. It's just like, we're dealing with professionals. Like, who have we got coming in today? Oh, it's the little son from Blanca S. Like, how are you today? He's a handful. Okay, just watch out. Don't worry, son of Blanca S. We've got this taken care of. This is what we do. So again, my feeling is like the group home situations, like, you know, everybody has scared about group homes because everybody thinks like horror stories happen inside group homes. But I also know for a fact that some group homes, whether it's like hospice for elders or for psychiatrically disturbed people, some of them are very hospitable, very warm, caring, loving places. So I just wanted to let you know, even before we start doing this reading, I got this really powerful feeling that I needed to tell you before I do the reading, that everyone else who's involved in this, the doctors, the nurses, the caregivers, the group home managers, all the other parents who have autistic kids in the group home, all of this stuff is routine, day-to-day for them. And you're just living through your own particular version of the story. Okay? So let's go. Okay. You see, Path Traveler just showed up. Dear Path, thank you for sharing your story with Blanca S. That will help Blanca S to realize that, oh, wow, cool stuff does happen. That's really, really cool. Oh. All right, let's see what's going on here. That was a very strange and different way for starting a little mini tarot reading, but I felt that I should go with it because I have to honor my craft, my role here as being an instrument, as being a conduit of the healing power of love, which is really all we're doing here. I'm just a conduit, really. These are my hands. And in the situation of this show, my hands are instruments of the healing power of love, just like doctors and surgeons and nurses and caregivers, but also like people who work on computers or whatever. These are still instruments, okay? And so I feel, Blanca, before we've even started, you're in good hands. You're going to be in good hands. Doesn't matter what the cards say, because it's just another day for them. For the doctors, it's like, oh, got to do a pulmonary transplant today. Okay. And then the caregivers at the group home. Oh, we got a new kid coming in today. Yeah. There we go. All right, let's have a look, see what's coming up. What kind of messages do we have for Blanca S as she lives through these double duty challenging times? I'm just shuffling it up really clear so that you have a fresh, clean deck, and then we'll go for it. Okay. All right, I'm just going to cut it up very, very evenly. So here's the situation, here's the challenges, of which there are many, and here's how we're going to handle it. Let's have a look at the weather for you too, Blanca. Wow, okay, so we've got the Ace of Pentacles here. So this is very much about I don't know exactly about the dates or the timing of these things that you said, when the surgery happens or the transplant and when you're actually moving the sun into the group home, but this Ace of Pentacles here is very much about new starts and new beginnings in very tangible ways. Pentacles are about very measurable things like money, houses, responsibilities, jobs, careers, tangible, measurable things down here on earth. Your time, your energy, your resources, your gifts, all of that. So when I see the Ace of Pentacles here for you, this might be a little strange, but what I'm going to refer to is the Libra new moon coming up, okay? So please allow for this reading to stretch over like an extended period of time. This is a very odd, strange reading as it is already because I was sensing things even before the reading started. So with the Ace of Pentacles here, I feel that this is very much to do with the Libra new moon towards the end of next week. The sun and the moon will be opposing Mars still heavily squared by the Capricorn energies up here, okay? This will have moved on. This won't be here anymore, so you don't have to look at that. All you'll be seeing is this big fat T-square. Now, we can learn a lot and grow and evolve and adapt through T-squares, okay? It might not be comfortable, but they are opportunities for growth. Sometimes the most important aspects of growth, evolution, and adaptation occur under pressure of relationship dynamics. So thinking about the relationship between yourself and your doctors, the relationship between yourself and the group home managers, the relationship between your son and yourself, the relationship between yourself and yourself. All of that is up for new starts and new beginnings here, where you're going to have a chance to see yourself in your life, in your world, from a very new perspective. You'll still be Blanca S. You'll still have, whatever challenges you have in your life, but you'll see everything from a new lens, okay? Think of this as a big long-term reading, okay? Even though it's just a few little cards, I would consider everything that you've brought to the table here as, it's like literally a chance for a new start, for new life, okay? Physical life, measurable life, okay? You could almost say that a lung transplant is a chance for a start at a new life, okay? That's a good way to look at it. Now let's have a look. What's the situation itself? Okay. To me it feels like, wow, I knew this was coming. I know exactly what you're talking about, Tarot Illumination. I am incredibly strong. All these challenges have come to me, but I am on the high ground. I will prevail. I'm built for this. This is part of my life. If I had known these things were going to happen in my life before I was born, would I have ever incarnated in this lifetime? Probably not. And that's what I think happens, like with a lot of people. They have that thing, like what I think they call it, like the great forgetting. Like before you incarnate in this lifetime, you kind of go through this like wipe out of the memory, like so that when you start in this lifetime, you are blocked from knowing the challenges that you're going to face in this lifetime, because if you knew what they were and how severe they were, then you would never incarnate in this lifetime. But like you said, Blanca, you are strong. So you are strong, and basically all of the challenges that are coming to you now, and you're facing them now, and you're dealing with it extremely well. Thank you very much. It's kind of heroic, the way I look at this. In fact, I feel like you're being kind of a hero. You might not feel it from there, because you might be feeling like, oh my God, what if this doesn't work? What happens if my son doesn't fit in the group home? You don't have to think about those things. You just have to be you, okay? Just focus on you. Focus on being the most amazing person you are already, and you just keep going on that pathway, knowing that you're going to be okay some way, somehow. I don't know what that looks like in detail, but you will meet the challenges. Okay, what's the problem here? Well, it's terrifying, okay? No matter how confident I might help you to feel about these challenges coming up for you, let's just admit it. It's absolutely terrifying. This is the Moon card, and this is the energy of perhaps, in this position, I would see it as extreme fear. And you would have every reason to experience extreme fear because, well, I don't have to keep explaining it over again. I don't have to keep talking about it again. A double lung transplant, let's just say it. It's pretty freaking scary. The idea of having an autistic child, that's scary enough for any person. Then realizing you can't cope and having to put him in a group home, or realizing that the best thing to do, even if you can cope, is to put them in a group home. That's still very, very daunting, because it means you're trusting your child with other people. Anyway, so okay, so let's just say there is a lot of fear going with this. A lot of fear. But let's just say that you don't allow yourself to feel it, because if you did, or if you acknowledge it, or let the fear grip you, it would just turn into like a horror story. You'd just be running around like a mad person, like holding your head in your hands, screaming and ranting, oh my God, oh no, 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 why me, why me, why me, why me, why me? So you might be feeling that deep inside, but on the outside, you're doing a really, really good job of coping with some very scary, stressful things. So that's pretty awesome. I don't know how you're doing it, but you're doing it. I'm kind of hoping that you have good friends and family around you, very close by, who you can like connect with. Also, the other thing with the Moon card here is that the fear of not knowing what is going to happen on the other side. You know, like, especially when it comes to surgery, you know how they put you in complete anesthesia, and you know what happens? They take your body to the point where it's basically, you're almost not there anymore. And then you live through this experience. You come out as a new person on the other side. There's time before surgery, there's time during surgery, and there's the time after surgery. You become a new person after the surgery, okay? So it looks to me like you just said a note there. I don't let fear rule me. You're right. So the fear might be there, and it might be very profound. It might be very intense. But you're doing a really good job of dealing with it. But it is there nevertheless. Let's just be honest. There are tremendous risks here and here. Okay? You know, maybe there's nothing to worry about, but it's still something to be concerned about. Even though I described earlier, before I even started the reading, I feel that you're dealing with people on the larger scale that this is their day job. This is what they do. And so that can help you to soothe your way through this potentially very stressful, scary situation. But for you yourself, how are we going to do this? Wow. You got a real power card here about the Ten of Cups here. To me, it feels like you know you will prevail. You know that you have to prevail because you're not doing it just for you. You're doing it for family, extended family, like your son, for example, and beyond. And so, like with the Ten of Cups, it's almost like just look at yourself in the mirror. No matter about these scary things here, you can go to the mirror in a very, very calm way, knowing, I'll see if I can do it like this. I'm a very lucky person. I'm a very wealthy person. I'm a very happy person. I'm a very blessed person. I'm okay. I'm going to be okay. I am happy. That's it. Love breeds love. I am loving. I am loved. It's really simple. So it's almost like the secret to dealing with this situation is reminding yourself how powerful you are in terms of self-healing. Like, just remind yourself, I am loving and I am loved. I have been loving, I will be loved. And so on and so on. So it's like you are generating your own happiness. You're generating your own healing from the inside out. And then that becomes your reality. So I don't predict the future. I'm not a fortune teller. I get feelings and I get sort of prophetic impressions, for example. But you never know till you know. You're the one who's making the decisions in your life. With the Ten of Cups here, it's like a reminder that happiness is a choice, okay? The way you deal with it is, no matter how scary it gets, you remind yourself, wake up, look in the mirror. Hello, Blanca. Hello, look in the mirror. Remember, happiness is a choice. And then you realize, wow, I'm a very lucky person. I'm a very wealthy person. I'm a very happy person. I'm a very blessed person because I said so. I'm very happy, okay? And you kind of make that as a statement. It's like a fact. This is a fact, okay? So I think what I'm going to do, rather than keep going, I'm going to play... I've got two little healing songs, okay? They're not very long, but I'll probably play them both in a row for you. And it's just to kind of bless you on your way, okay, Blanca S? I don't remember when the surgery is, okay? Well, I've got another song. And it's like being the car salesman. You believe yourself to be healed already, okay? You're already healed. And you do it by declaration. And I have this little song. It's called I Am Healing, I Am Healed. And those are the only words to the song. And sometimes I play it to myself and I kind of jump up and down as though I was, in one of those Zumba classes with a bunch of yoga girls who are jumping up and down because they love to do Zumba and it makes them feel all happy and healthy. But you don't see a lot of guys doing Zumba yoga. Anyway, I was lucky enough to at least watch some of it, and I got some very energetic yoga years ago. I'm not doing public yoga anymore, but I have my own little things that I do here, and I wouldn't dare show you what they are because you'd think I'm crazy, but I kind of jump around, and so I'm living my own little jukebox, okay? And so I'm going to play you this song right now, and the whole idea is to generate the energy of self-healing so that you already know that you're healed in advance, okay? So it sounds like this. It's called, I'll play it to you. Okay, here it is. It sounds like this. It's kind of got the little dance beat to it, okay? So, well, I have another one for you, okay, Blanca? It's another song about healing. And the lyrics are a little bit more complicated. There's actually a couple of lines. And hold on, let me just... Okay, you know what? I'm going to check in personally. So, the next song, it's called Fighting Well. It's kind of another song that I wrote for myself to try and heal because I've had a lot of life-threatening diseases and I overcame them and I'm still alive to tell the tale today. I'm a miracle baby, Blanca, so I can relate to some of these stories with you. This song is called Fighting Well, and it's got kind of a beat to it as well. The words are, what are the words? My immune system's fighting well, my immune system is fighting well. And it goes on and on and on and on. And then the second verse is, my T cells are fighting well, my T cells are fighting well. And that just goes on and on and on. It's kind of like a chant. And I wrote it deliberately so that it just goes over and over again. The whole idea is to mesmerize you into a state of deep self-healing, where you're already healing yourself even before you've gone into surgery, if that makes sense. It's the only way I can describe it, okay? So I'm going to play that song to you now. It's called Fighting Well. You'll understand once you start to hear it. Here we go. It sounds like this. So there you go. Okay. So let's have a look. Where were we? Oh, here we are. Hi. Oh, I just see your notes. Let me just see. Perfect. So, are these songs on your website? Yes, they are. I have an angiogram scheduled for tomorrow noon as part of the assessment process, and I would love to listen to these as I'm preparing for the procedure. Well, I guess like if you got a smartphone, you could probably do it that way. You just go to Tarot Illumination on YouTube, and if you go to the section on videos or scroll down to the playlists, you'll see like there's a little section for some of the songs, and there's a bunch of songs there, and those two songs are there, and the other song as well. I am guided, I am protected, that's on there. Okay, I am healing, I am healed, that is on there. Fighting well is also on there, and it's like little YouTube videos. So yeah, you could do that. You could put your phones in and get your smartphone and listen to them while you're doing the angiogram. Yeah. You can also do it on Spotify or iTunes, something like that. I forgot. Thank you, Path. I forgot about that. Yeah. So that's the only ways I know. I mean, the songs are mine. They're in my head, so I never really listen to them. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I like to listen to my own songs. Well, some of you know that I used to want to be a pop star. I still want to be a pop star, but it's a little bit, that should have happened a while back. Anyway, I still do music. I still love to do music. I'm trying to recalibrate my life so that I can become wealthy, like in a material. I already feel like I'm incredibly wealthy. I already feel like I'm a multimillionaire in here, and in here it just doesn't show up quite so much in my wallet. So I'm trying to work on those things now, because what I'm really hoping to do on these later chapters in my life is to find the time and the energy and the money to do the music that I love to do. Because I have more songs, I have more music, but it's really hard to do what I want to do with the music without a good producer, a good studio, and a ton of money. So I'm just letting you know. But for the meantime, yeah, help yourself. Okay, Blanca? So the music's there. Hello, Karen. Karen Clark in New Zealand. Karen Clark in sunny New Zealand. It's turning into springtime over there, isn't it, Karen? Yeah. Oh, Karen, you know what? I saw something funny on my news feed on my smartphone today, because I check in with New Zealand frequently. And they had this thing about your Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern. And she was doing some kind of spoof comedy interview, and I think it was a furniture store or something with these two gentlemen, and it was a little bit rude. These guys kind of set her up without telling her, and so the two guys were sitting on these sofas talking about politics and comedy and life in New Zealand or something, and then Jacinda was in the middle. Okay? And so Jacinda sat down, and the guys were chatting away, blah, 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 blah. And then this stupid electronic drone, this drone started flying around her. And it was kind of a nuisance, because you could hear all the noise, you could feel all the wind, and so it was kind of blowing her hair, and the guys were kind of like going. They thought it was really funny, but she obviously was not enjoying it. And so the Prime Minister was sitting there like very sweetly saying, I can see the humor here, but it's actually not very funny. It's actually kind of a nuisance, to tell you the truth. Having a drone flying around my head, drowning out my voice and blowing my hair around. And the guys kind of ignored her. They just kept the drone going. And so she sat there kind of like this with her big smile. She went. You could tell she was really pissed. Anyway, That's my New Zealand story for the day. Well, Blanca, I'm sure the angiogram's going to be fine. You're strong, you're happy, and you will make it good. Okay? I'm going to go back to the stage here. I just want to clear things up a minute. Thank you, Blanca. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. I don't see any more takers, so I'm going to wrap up the show. It's going to be a short show tonight, and that's it. It's been lovely having all of you here. So, like I said at the beginning of the show, please be prepared for some weird things happening with Tarot Illumination over the next year or so, because I'm going to start a new channel, okay? Because this channel, it's in a coma, and there's nothing I can do about it. Technically, there's no way to save this channel. It's very sad. It's very heartbreaking for me because I put so much work into this channel, and then anyway. So I don't want to go moaning about that. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm shuffling up. I'm clearing the cards for next time, which will be next Sunday evening. Your name will go here. All you have to do is show up, put money in the super chat. You buy one magic post-it note for $10, and then you get a free tarot reading. There you go. Yes, Blanca, like I said, you're in the right place at the right time, for the right reasons, for the right people. And that goes for everybody, frankly. All right, now... Oh, don't worry, Path. I'll just share the Astrodoodle with you right now. Stay right there. I see your notes. Here's the Astrodoodle for tonight. Of course, this will change very soon. The key feature for tonight is that the moon is in Leo. Excuse me, Leo. So, and of course, this is changing very quickly. But right now, when I made this, it was in a very tight T-square with Mercury in Scorpio heading retrograde and Uranus in Taurus still retrograde. So this is a lot of tension, but we can learn so much from these tensions in relationships. In other words, let's just admit it. We've got some challenging aspects in relationship dynamics here. So how are we going to deal with that? This is the T. Okay, it looks like this. These are the angles, but they call it a T-square because a lot of astrologers draw the T-square without these red lines. They just draw the T. Okay? That's the top of the T, and that's the stem of the T. So that's happening right now. And we also have, of course, this one, which has been here for a while. It's still going to be here for a while. And by the way, Path, what I was suggesting earlier, I think it was to Gregory, try and enjoy the sweet spot while the moon is in Virgo for a few days. Because when we get to the Libra new moon, and a few days further, that's basically the end of next week, we're going to be around the Libra new moon. There's a chance that this Libra new moon, as sweet as Libra can be, it's going to be an incredibly stressful new moon as far as the angles are concerned. This is going to be a multiple T-square, okay? So I'm just giving everybody a heads up. We'll talk about this some more, but that is the Astrodoodle for tonight, everybody. Thank you, Path, for reminding me. Yeah. Now, some people are born with double T-squares like this. Does that mean they have a miserable life? Not necessarily. It might indicate that they have a lot of stresses in their life, but they thrive on this and they grow and they mature and they evolve, and the stresses bring out the best in these people. Sometimes it works that way. Anyway, that's it for tonight, folks. I think what I'm going to do now is play another song and leave you guys to it. Let's have a look. You know what? I'm going to play a song I haven't played in a long time. It's a long, long, long chanty song. It's called Love the Word. Okay, it's basically what I wrote for myself to kind of mesmerize myself through tunes and words and beats. The words don't mean anything, but they kind of do when you listen to them. And I wrote it so that you could feel it as though it's kind of like a gospel choir, where the whole idea is that everybody sings along like it's at a big chant in a big church or a big stadium, like a YouTube concert or something. And the song kind of goes along, and the words just repeat over and over. And it's supposed to like fill you up here. It's supposed to fill you up. In case you're feeling a little bit empty here, it's to remind you that this is what counts over here, okay? It's called Love the Word. And I'm talking about the Word, not like the word of Jesus in the Bible and things like that, but the Word as the spoken word, the written word, and the power of the spoken word, the power of the written word. Because if you think about it, think about how our lives today are so influenced by spoken word and written word. And now all I'm doing is adding a little bit of music with a nice tune and a nice beat. That's all. Paul McCartney. Remember Paul McCartney? He's still alive. He's kind of my hero because he made it very simple. What really counts is a good tune, good words, and a good beat. And make it sound good. Okay? That's it. That's all I'm trying to do. Sometimes I have Paul McCartney dreams. When I'm in a lot of trouble, Paul McCartney comes to me in dreams and he helps me. He's my mate. All right, so I'm going to start the song now, and then I'm going to bid thee farewell. I'm going to hang out here. You can chat amongst yourselves because the song is about 7 minutes long or something. So chat amongst yourselves. I'm just going to start it now, okay? It sounds like this.
Sing the word, chant the word, speak the word, dance the word, say the word, praise the word, feel the word, love the word, live the word, vibrate the word, shake the word, hum the word, breathe the word, whisper the word, sign the word, love the word. Sing it now. Sing the word, chant the word, speak the word, dance the word, say the word, praise the word, feel the word, love the word, live Sing the word, chant the word, speak the word, dance the word, say the word, praise the word, feel the word, love the word, live the word, vibrate the word, shake the word. Hug the word, breathe the word, whisper the word, sign the word, love the word. Sing it now.